Carp Anglers. My name is James Sanders and I am the CEO of Team Fish Fighters. You see that little red button down there? It says subscribe. Hit that subscribe button plus the bell button and you automatically be notified with our great carp adventures. Thanks for watching. Tight lines. Hey Carp Anglers, James Sanders here and
Tommy Pearson, man. How you guys doing out there?
you guys doing alright there? I tell you, this is got a great show. This is the last show. I don't know what we say last show. But
Not the last show, but the last show about buffalo carp.
Buffalo carp fishing for a while. I mean, past two guys that we had, man, so informative on their style of fishing.
Yeah.
And, you know, on buff fishing. It's man, incredible guys, lots of knowledge. I mean, you guys ever get a chance, check out that video that's out on our YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, hit that button down there, hit the bell button, that way every time. I do want to take a second though, not to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
We got some comments coming in, man, and Gilbert Huxley actually just commented on here and said, I need a conference call from the both of you about something exciting for the Fish Fighters Club.
Oh.
So I really can't wait to see what that's about.
He did try calling me, but I was getting ready to start the show. Then
Yeah.
the guys will call him back after. Yeah, I was really excited to hear about that, Gilbert. So
yeah, appreciate that,
yeah.
Gilbert. Can't wait. What's up, Kenny Mack?
Kenny Mack, the man.
Yeah, Kelly.
Gilbert's
Better
the
start
man.
planning the little one's first set of reels. Man.
Start them young.
Yeah.
Start them young.
It's a girl, so I'm sure there'll definitely be pink. I just want a set of pinks.
Yeah. Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Bastard.
Uh,
How many girls is that? How many contests?
Man,
That's 4 now.
I've won close to like 7 sets total since January, probably.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. You can't win unless you play. So.
I know. That's right. That's my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only thing I ever won is a bunch of a bag of chow.
Yeah.
One time.
We definitely will, Gilbert. If you're going to still be up, we'll call you as soon as we're done with
Yeah, it's going to be a late show, bud.
Yeah, it's going to be a late one because we got 2 guests on here tonight.
Yeah.
We got David Burns on here, and then we also going to have William Bear.
What's his last? How do you say his last name, man?
Man, I don't know. I don't even want.
What is that name?
I don't even want to disrespect him like that and not pronounce
Bear.
it right.
You gonna disrespect
I just call him
him?
Bear. You know what I mean?
Bear.
No, I just I don't want to not say it right, make myself sound stupid. You know what I mean?
Bear. Oh my gosh. So your week went pretty good.
Yeah, it's been going pretty good.
Oh, look at here, the champ.
The champ is here. I see you.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Oh, man. Champion.
What's up?
Big
dog. Yes, sir. Champ is here.
Good, brother.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
you
God.
boys got
That's
the
what I'm
big
talking
boy
about.
Bear.
Team Fish Fighter in the house.
Thank you guys for having me here.
Oh my God. What do you got there, brother?
Man. What? Oh man, look at that. That is the champ is here. Now what belt? What do you got this belt for?
This is the big mirror belt.
The big mirror belt?
The big mirror belt.
Oh, that's the 2021 heavyweight beer.
Yes.
And how big was that big mirror?
33 pounds.
33-pound big mirror, boy. And Troy,
Ain't she beautiful?
our other teammate Troy, all the way from what, PA, right?
Yep, he is.
He got the biggest common trophy.
Yeah, congratulations,
This is the
Troy.
first year that we've been giving out the belt.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's not the
I'm
first
excited.
No, since I've been on the team, it has.
Brian Howler got the last 2.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he did get for the biggest mirror.
Yeah.
He got it at Tommy Tout's leg, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. But this is actually the wild one.
Yeah. And you know what, man? We wouldn't be able to get stuff like this, man, if it wasn't for the people that's watching and helping and tuning in and
Sir, we appreciate
coming to the chili meet and donating prizes.
Look at this.
I love this.
I'm going to show the camera guys what's going on.
Yeah, get up a little up close.
That's the real deal Holyfield right there.
Look at that. Now this is what you can see right there. It's got a mirror on there. Heavyweight belt. It says Team Fish Fighters. From last year, 2021. His carp that he won was 33 pounds. Now the whole thing about this was within the team, and we have a contest every year. between January to December, and whoever captures the,
Biggest mirror,
biggest mirror,
biggest
gets,
common,
yeah, we got biggest, and the
Biggest buff.
biggest buff, biggest grassy,
yeah, we got medallions for that one.
biggest koi.
Biggest koi. Can I get a plaque on that?
Right now, Troy Taylor, he's got the biggest koi right now.
Yeah, that's
And that beautiful koi wasn't that big though. It was only like what? Yeah,
8. 6.
yeah.
That's
It was
nice,
like
man.
it was
It's beautiful.
It was a beautiful fish. I don't know the exact weight of it, you know what I mean? But
Right,
he
right.
just caught one a couple weeks ago, and he sent a picture to us in the group or whatever.
It's
man.
very rare if you catch a koi.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare.
I would love to. That's something I haven't even got yet. I want.
Same here, man. I've been fishing my whole life to get something like that. So we all do. Those are the gems that we work hard for. The big fish, the rare
Yeah,
fish.
you definitely got to target them.
Man, I'm glad you came to our show, man.
Yeah, man, we appreciate
Thanks
this
for
out
having me, man. I
man.
appreciate it, bro.
Oh,
Y'all
no, you're
our
probably
family, bro. So.
Yeah, it's good to
And I
just,
love this. I love this too.
it's
So,
good to just get some more guys in on the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know. You're dedicated. You have been
Oh, yeah.
since you became on the team.
Was
man.
it 3 years now?
You're a big part of the team.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Big part of the team, man. He puts a lot of nice fish on the bank.
Yes, he
Can't
does.
He's a very good wild water guy too, man. He's definitely a threat, for sure.
We're big time.
thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I definitely do my thing, and I try to put all the passion and work I can into it too. So
And
And
that's
stick
what's-
around?
Yeah, you gonna be here? You gonna stick around with us
I
tonight?
can stick around for a few hours.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, we got
Thomas in the
we got
house.
DeJuan in the house. He'll be here for a couple hours, man.
Yeah.
He's here. Woo!
Okay, we're done. We're done. We rehearsed that. We rehearsed that all week.
Yeah, that took us all week to get that down for sure.
Man, that's a load off my mind right there. Well, good show, bro. Glad you came.
Yeah, for
Thanks
sure.
for having me, man. I appreciate being here. And
You sponsored by anybody? You want to give anybody a shout out? You know what I mean? I want,
I give a shout out to Lake Monsters.
Yep.
They've been doing what they can do, and trying to do what I can do as far as what our relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Bottom feeder base though.
That's
I've been using that for the last 12 to 13 years. I was going in West Side bait and tackle, getting it when Jim Donald was in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and when he was breaking out new ones, he would give me bags,
He
No
gave
good old Donald.
yeah, he gave you the shirt off his back
Sure
twice.
would. Sure would.
So, if you haven't heard one, we got 2 guests today. We've got David Burns and William Bear.
The bear.
The Bear from
That's the bear right there, man.
Yeah, he is.
I like me some bear, man.
Yeah,
He keeps it. He
keeps it real.
He keeps it real,
He does.
man. He does.
So, you want to go ahead and give David a call? real
Yeah, I'll
quick?
give him a call right now.
So, get to the point, stop our yapping, and let's get this game on.
Back to this belt.
Man,
Talk about the belt.
I took it
Talk
to work,
about the
man.
belt.
I know. I like it.
Where'd you catch that fish at?
I caught that fish in Del Hollow.
Del Hollow.
It was my second trip last year in the spring, early spring, and
I was there. Seen that.
that one you wasn't. The first one you was.
No, I'm talking about when you caught the 33. What?
Remember, I went back.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I went back for
A week later.
Yep. I
Yeah,
went
that's
back.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he did. After all the money that James pays you for holding them fish.
That's it. Between
trip was
you
all
and
James.
Ricky, you're like incredible, man. Incredible. You and Ricky. But anyway, that's all.
But you guys are
Like I
about to go
said,
down
before,
there.
it won't happen again. Yeah.
You guys are about to go down there here real soon, ain't you?
Yeah, the first.
1st of May.
Man, you know what's crazy? Like, I'm leaving to go on vacation on the 8th. I was telling Amy, I was telling my woman that, I called James earlier. I was like, hey, and she's sitting right there. And I was like, I said, hey, just to let you know, James, Amy said she's going to pick me up on the 7th from down there in Del Hollow, you know what I mean? And she was like, no, I'm not. We're leaving on the 8th, you know what I mean? I was like, well, you can stop picking me up in Del Hollow, you know what I mean?
Good old Amy.
Yeah. Bike around out with us.
Yeah, I really wanted to. I really wanted to go to New York is what I really wanted to do.
Okay.
But it starts May 8th. And that would interfere with the vacation, so. But anyways, enough about us. Let's call David.
Hey, David? Hey, Pearson Wad's here.
What's up, Danny?
How you doing, buddy? Oh, great. Welcome to Carp Talk. How you been doing? Good. Anything, well, let me just get to the punchline. So, you do a lot of buff fishing, a lot, and that's one of the reasons they're on the show. You're from, what was that, North Carolina?
Yeah, Langston, North Carolina.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
What's your home lake?
Say what?
What would your home lake be?
High Rock, Baden, Tuckertown.
Okay.
That's the three I've got pretty local to my house.
Yeah,
Sweet.
really close to you.
Yeah, about 20, 30 minutes each one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's not bad.
That's always nice and convenient.
So,
It is.
there's a question that we always ask each carp angler and all that stuff. We kind of like of course, you introduce yourself to the show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your stuff, your profession, and how many times like a week, and what kind of got you started on buff fishing?
Well, I got started on buff fishing about 8 years ago when I first started fishing pay lakes.
Sweet.
And that's where it started at. But then I went wild fishing, watery South Carolina. The guys, they took me down there and showed me that. Just went from there, basically, wild fishing.
Nice. Now you do more wild fishing or pay laking?
I usually do a lot of wild fishing
Okay.
in the wintertime.
Oh, nice.
From November, December, January, February, all that.
You got warm waterways up there or something like that, or where
What's your temperature like that down there in wintertime?
Well, in South Carolina, it's a little bit warmer than it is in North Carolina. That's usually where I buff fish at, South Carolina, Lake Watery.
Okay.
And they bite well all winter long, really.
Right.
Pretty easy to catch in the winter.
Okay, sweet. Now, is there what do you do for a living?
I do all kinds of stuff. I sell a lot of carp to the pay lakes,
Okay.
construction work,
Yeah.
kind of like a jack of all trades.
Okay. Gotcha. Like a little contractor kind of thing. All right.
Yeah, I do a lot of hard labor.
a lot of back breaking, a lot of back breaking just to be on the bank, huh?
Yeah, I break my back working, fishing, I'm all the above.
Hey, work hard, play hard. That's how I live.
Oh, there you go.
And so you gotta do it.
Yep.
So go ahead and we'll go ahead and start with the first question or something like that. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to first?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to South Davis, and that's where I fish most of my pay lake tournaments at.
Okay. So you do a lot more pay lake in during summertime?
Yeah, summertime, wintertime,
Yeah.
wintertime better.
And it's open all 20, about throughout the whole entire year, right?
Yeah, it's open all the time.
Okay, sweet.
Do a lot of tournament fishing.
All right. You got any question?
I do, man. What do you think about that makes a good carp angler?
Good question.
Angler that's not afraid to try something
Yeah.
right there on the spot, change something you're doing that's gonna help you, like,
Oh yeah.
I believe there's things you can do while you're fishing to change the outcome,
Oh yes, I believe in that
If
too.
I'm fishing and I'm starting to figure things out, pickups, the bait, whatever they're liking, then naturally, that's what you're gonna go to, stay with.
Right.
What's working really good for you. So the best anglers are the ones that figure that out the fastest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because that really can that's really not easy, especially for fishing a pay lake.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's what I call unlocking the code.
And it changes too from week to week because they can be smashing one thing one week and then the next week, or even go back the next day and they're not hitting it. It happens.
Yeah, I believe that when I get there, I start all over again because it's just like you said, they'll be on something different. The color will be different of the pickup, or I'll figure things out while I'm there that's going to improve my fishing that day. That's what I think is the most important. What can you do right then
Yeah.
to change the outcome of your fishing?
Yeah, because you guys fish a lot of tournaments down there, right?
Yeah, it's crazy in North Carolina. There's a bunch of pay lakes, a bunch of.
Yeah, it's like we call it what do we call it, the
Hillbilly Casino.
Hillbilly Casino.
Pretty much, that's pretty much what it is.
I mean, it really is though. But I mean, we love it just as much here, except for ours is a little different. Except for we just keep putting money in the same jug until somebody hits it.
Yeah.
But obviously, the money goes in the bank from the place. You know what I mean? Until somebody hits that exact jug. But like, we got some nice jugs up there.
We got those. We got jackpots, jars. They pay about an hour, every 2 hour, and you have them even fish, 25, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are all jackpots if you hit them even.
Yeah.
South Davis, if you hit one of those even, it's probably $500 right out the gate.
Oh wow, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, we got some big jugs here right now.
I've seen them up to like 20,000.
Oh, we got one. Anybody hits a 31.1 or 31.45 or 6 right now is worth 20,000.
20,000. Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what South's was up to 25,000 one time, and it got cracked a couple of times.
But see, the
But
thing
it's a
is,
percentage.
our lakes here that where that jug is, like they're definitely in there, man. But it's,
They're harder jugs to hit.
yeah, they definitely are right now, man. I mean, it's definitely hard to hit the buff that's 31, even though he's putting buffs in after buffs in after buff.
Right.
So we know they're in
That
there.
sounds good.
No, he's already. I mean, all our lakes are putting more buffs in, here lately. But we got one lake like he just put 3 loads in. Hubbard's just put a couple loads in. Highway put a big load in. So there's.
Well, the buffalo carp's kind of saving carp fishing to a certain extent because a lot of times the big trucks that they get the yellows from, they're hard to get sometimes, and then they'll get buffs instead, or they'll get buffs and yellows most of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's kind of a mixed pond. South's about 70 yellow and 30 buff. And other lakes some of them are 50-50, some of them are, usually there's less buffs in all of them.
So, what do you? I'm not saying you do. I'm not sure if you do or not. Do you got like a lot of friends down there that just don't even work at all, like outside the lake, but that's their job to pay the rent is the
To go fish 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because I've been down there. I know how it is, like tournament wise.
Right.
I mean, there's a tournament every day somewhere for sure. Multiple
You can
places.
do that if,
You're good enough, right?
well, it's gambling, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't put that money up if you can't afford to lose it.
Yeah.
But no, some people try that, but everybody I know mostly they got jobs.
Yeah.
That's a good thing actually. You always got something to fall back on.
Do
They
I
would
know?
like to do that. They would like to go and win money and live like that off the fire.
Make a career off of it.
Be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice, man.
Be the life.
Yeah, for sure. Dewan, you got another question you'd like to ask him?
Yeah.
Any personal question you would like to ask him too?
Yeah,
I'll ask you, if it isn't too personal, like what do you go to when you're struggling?
you always got that oldie McGoldie, that one that always seems to work for you. That's usually what I go to.
Okay.
Probably 3 that I would say that are go-tos when, doesn't seem exactly right is probably chocolate, grape, and like some kind of banana nut, some kind of banana.
Yeah. I love grape. I'm a big, huge fan of grape. I'm sorry.
If you stick with them 3 right there, you probably do pretty good.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
And more in particular wild fishing, because you can get the fish will go on some wild stuff around the pay lakes. So
Right.
Yeah.
you gotta really stay tuned into the pay lakes. But wild fishing, if you stay with that chocolate, banana, grape, you'll do just fine.
Yeah, grape and banana. I do really good with grape and banana. I haven't tried chocolate too much, but yeah, I've had a lot of great
good.
success with
They're all good.
Yeah.
So what is your? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go on, David.
No, go ahead. I'll let you on.
All right. Okay. What's your personal best comment in the mirror?
And buff.
I'm Buff.
Probably a yellow, probably like 33 pounds or something like that. And a buff
So it's kind of weird when I hear you guys say yellow. That's a southern thing mainly, because what's yellow is basically what you guys call common carp, isn't it?
Yeah, common carp.
Yeah, up here we just call it just common carp. But I like how you guys say that.
Yeah, me too. That's pretty cool.
When
Yeah,
you
like the yellows.
when you're fishing for buff, I mean, do you slap jerk a lot, or I mean, how do you you use Play-Doh, or how you bobbers?
Well, the thing is, I got indicators that I custom make, and they twist on and off, but it's not the way you jerk the fish. It's the timing of when you jerk the fish. It's not really a slap jerk versus a standard jerk or a regular jerk, however you want to say it, but no, it's nothing to do with the jerk. It's when the fish actually bites it, he's got the zero in his mouth, that's when you want to jerk it. I don't care how you jerk it. Just jerk it at the right time. That's the most important.
Because right now, man, we like I said, we have one main pay lake, Indy Lakes. I mean, we have a few pay lakes, but the Indy Lakes right now, they have the two biggest buff money jugs, and there's a lot of people out there chasing them right now, man. And I know the fish are in there, especially over the last 3-4 years. I've been there and took pictures myself of numerous 30s and 40s that's went in. But I know they lose, I know fish lose weight when they go from, the wild into a pay lake like that.
Right.
Some of them seem to be able to hold their weight.
Sure.
But do they stay in deeper water? You know what I mean?
Well, in the pay lakes, are we talking pay lakes?
Yeah.
Pay lake or wild, whatever.
Okay. See, when you put a buff into a pay lake, he more or less gets domesticated. He kind of starts doing what all the other fish do, more or less, because he's in a pond now versus in the wild, right?
Yeah, he's mocking. Yeah, he's mocking.
Yeah, he's going to start having to eat and feed on whatever that the fishermen present him with, right? But it ain't that. It's just that buffs, they don't bite all the time. That's the thing. They're hard to catch for a reason. They don't always bite. Yellows bite way better, more than a buff will in a pay lake. They're hard to catch in the wild. They're jinky biting fish. They really are. You can catch them on a bite easier than you can any other way, but they don't always bite. You get a thunderstorm or something and the pressure's right and you get a little rain, that's kind of the times that buffaloes they'll turn up, and one guy might be sitting there catching 4 or 5 or 6, and everybody else catching yellows, but they just don't always bite.
So what is
the bigger ones are a lot more clever.
So what is your rig setup when you go buff fishing? I mean, like the size of your weight, how long is your leader and all that kind of stuff? What size hook you use?
It always depends on what the conditions are. At Lake Watery, they got a lot of moving water. It's kind of like a river system lake, if you will. So it's when the water goes left, you don't catch any. You know what I'm saying? The water's pumping, the catfish are biting, and the buffs, they're not down there actively feeding. But when the water goes right, you can catch them, and when the water stops, you can catch them. So if there's a stronger pull than normal, I would probably use a 2.5 to a 3 ounce weight, and if it's a moderate current, use like regular current, what I would say I would use a 1 ounce to 1.5 ounce. It's usually on a running rig.
Do you use a bobber stop or anything like that to stop your sinker? You know what I'm saying? For if they pick it up that way, boom, it automatically pulls that hook down.
Well, you could use a fixed position, and fix your lead or do the bobber stop like you said, and he can pull a little bit, and then he'll feel the pressure. All of those methods work.
Yeah.
The best method is the best rig, the best pickup is sitting down on fish that are biting.
Yeah.
That's how you get them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. This next question is going to come from Jim Weatherly. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. He said, what is the ratio between lip caught and snag caught buffs? And I guess
Say that again.
He said, what is the ratio between lip caught and snag caught buffs?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I think that's probably because you guys use 2 rigs down there, correct?
Yeah, we use double hook pay lake rig, but I use single hook wild rig every time.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking.
It's always in the mouth when you get out there and you get to fishing and you get to see in the bite and you figure out the bite, there's usually a few variations of buffalo bite. Whichever one you catch them on first, that's usually the one that you catch them on every time. But
Now, is there
yes,
is there a certain lakes that does that? That between a snag and like a how far it actually is from a lip? Say you get.
no, just a rule of thumb, anything from the gill plate forward would be,
Gotcha.
to me, a legal catch, and then anything behind
Yeah.
wouldn't be. But yeah, around here, if the fish takes your line up and you jerk, it don't matter where he's hooked, you can still count him.
Yeah, I've heard stories about you can hook them in the rooter to the, from the rooter, hey, from the rooter to the tutor. Hey.
That's definitely counts.
Yeah, I
Takes
mean,
my line up, just on.
Hey,
I got a question.
Yeah, hang on.
real quick, anybody out there on Facebook, if you guys got any questions that you would like to ask David, please let us know. And then they'll relay the question to him. I'm sorry, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, this message is coming from Facebook. It's R.J. Gardner, and he wants to know what is his favorite bait for Midway
2.
Midway 2.
That must be a friend.
They gonna put the heat on you.
Nah,
man.
that must be a friend. That must be a friend.
A follower, a deep follower.
I get to fish about, 50, 60 tournaments a year, and I haven't been up to Midway, so I don't know what to tell them about that. But I'll tell them where to start. If they got buffs, just put that soybean in there and then put that chow behind it. You should have no problem catching them anywhere like that.
Yes. Now you was talking about you make your own indicators instead of using like putty and stuff like that. Do you sell them at all?
No, because they're kind of secret, but I'm definitely interested.
I would definitely like to be I would definitely like to try some of them out, man, and say, obviously maybe talk to you and maybe personal on the phone or something, and you can tell me how they work or something like that. Cause I fish for buff a lot, man, but I don't fit. We do a lot of lazy fishing here in Indiana, because
We do a lot of that around here too.
yeah, but you guys got a lot of guys that are constantly on their rods, and we don't really have that. You know what I mean? We got a lot of, we can buy a 6-hour pass or a 12-hour pass or even a 24 or a 48, and
I got you.
so a lot of our guys down here use alarms and shit, so if their alarm ain't going off, they're not getting up, even though I'm over here looking at their straw going like this.
Wee, wee, wee.
No, that's not even making no noise.
Oh,
But that straw's moving.
I got you.
Right.
So this is the deal right here, right? You're fishing a pay lake, right?
Yeah.
It's got buffaloes and it's got yellow carp, right? With
Yes,
just yellow carp, you could sit behind your rods and you could fish those, you could fish those regular. But when you got buffaloes in there, it changed the whole element because if I can stand up here and jerk and catch a fish and they're biting fish, they're not going to run it. Most of them, they're not going to run it. I mean, there's a lot of buffs that'll run it because they've been domesticated. But
Yeah.
fresh buffaloes from Lake Watery, they're going to just bite it. Like, you'll be sitting there looking at the bite that you could have caught if you was addressing your rod and reels more often. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So keeping up with those buff fishermen is, you better fish your rod and reels pretty good. Rebait it every 15, 20 minutes and just stay on top of it. As people that they're on top of their fishing reels, they're going to outfish you. There ain't no question about it.
Yeah.
So to get more active behind the fishing reels is definitely the strategy I use.
James, you got another question?
Yeah, we'll carry one real quick. What would you say to a beginner buffer? What buffer?
Beginner buffer, right? Plug it in.
It is what it is.
A beginning,
A carp angler.
yeah, carp angler that's fishing for buffalo.
For the
What
first
would you say? What to look for? Or
The key is the bite, right?
right,
There's a difference when the fish picks up the pickup and when it's just in the line or around the bait. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people think that they have to jerk if their line moves, if they're buff fishing. They say if their line moves a little bit, they'll jerk.
right.
And of course they won't catch nothing. They won't be successful very often. But yeah,
Swing on the
key is
boat.
just figuring the bite out. Figure the bite out when it's perfect time to jerk. jerk
Yeah.
it. You know, it's easy to identify if you're looking at your indicators and you've got a little experience carp fishing. You know what to look for on the bite for sure.
Right, right. I got a question for you too, bro. This comes from Kelly LeRae. Season-wise, when is the best bite for buffs?
Now, where's Kelly from?
I don't know where Kelly's from. She's either South Carolina or North Carolina, maybe. It's hard telling it don't say.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happens when you're wild fishing. It happens every single time. When you get buffaloes on your corn pile or your baited area,
Right.
your line is going to start going up real slow. And then it's going to drop back down real slow. And it's going to go up real slow and drop back down real slow, right? None of that is an actual bite. It's a fish. Buffaloes feed a little bit more vertical than yellows. They kind of feed just, straight. But buffaloes, they're cocked at an angle when they feed because their mouth is positioned more on the bottom of their face instead of the front, like a yellow's is.
Right.
So
I asked.
So they're feeding in your line, right?
Yeah.
They're in your bait area and they're moving your lines up. That's how you know they're there. But what you really look for is you want them to pull it up with a little erratic action and hold it. That's the best bite to me. When they bite it, actually, you see the vibration in your indicator and then they go forward with it. That's the best bite. Now, the buffalo could also drop. You'd be looking at your indicator and it'll just drop all the way down to the water. That is also a bite if you jerk that, because he's picked up your hook and he's moved towards you with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I call a drop back bite, one of the variations of the buff bite. You got a slow rising bite and then it'll get the vibration at the top of when it lifts up slow. It could also lift up slow and then vibrate it right there when it's up high.
Nice.
So you're really just looking for that vibration or that quiver or that indication that something's actually took your hook.
Yeah.
So that's what you're kind of focusing in on is
We got a
watching
lot
your
of
bobbins
questions
and you
going on.
want to see really when he picks your hook up. That's when you want to nail him.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your questions.
All right, we got a few questions here online. We're going to try to get to real quick. Let's see, Tyler Christ. Shout out to Tyler Christ. He's a new sponsor of Fish Fighters too.
Yeah.
Carp King.
Carp King.
Appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
But he asked, has he had more success catching buffs during the day or at night?
Honestly, you can catch them in the day and the nighttime. It doesn't. I've caught them during the. Sometimes I thought they bite better during the day, and I would just go to sleep at night. And then when you have warmer nights, you start fishing into the night, and they start biting pretty regularly at night too. So, in the wintertime, it's usually a daytime bite, and in the summertime and in the fall time, you can catch them day and night.
Yeah. So what
It's
was?
not a day or night thing, really. It's a when you got buffs on you thing.
Right.
Yeah.
What will be a good temperature that you, in your opinion, that buffs will bite a lot?
Bear, send me your number.
I don't know. Honestly, when I go down to South Carolina, I'm imagining the water temperature anything above 45 degrees, and I love it, honestly. Anything below 45 degrees, it changes things, but they're still highly catchable. Any water temperature to me. Buffaloes. Yellows, they're a little slower in the colder weather.
They are.
In the wild. But buffaloes, they're
I'm gonna have you do this.
they're like blue
You do
catfish.
that,
They
I'm gonna say
bite
something about
cold-blooded
this.
winter, cold water, 30-degree water. They don't discriminate.
Yeah, after we do the show with you, man, we got a double show tonight. We got William Bear. He actually just commented on this, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I'm gonna share it with you guys. But it's true, it's real. You gotta know what to look for. Like David was saying, he said, "Yes, sir." He said, "That's the buff flutter." He said, "When it vibrates," he said, "When it vibrates the line."
When that motherfucker flutter, it's on.
Hey, yeah, I showed this one.
He does, man.
Now we're talking about carp porn.
Yeah, I mean, for real.
Yeah,
You
man,
know, a lot of people got that passion, man. That's why we do what we do, and in here talking like we do. We could do this for days.
You definitely have to have the passion passion for buff fishing because it's a really intricate fishing. And the bite is so intricate. It's so many variations of it. Usually 4 or 5 variations that I usually see from buffs when I'm wild fishing, and usually one of them is the one that I nail them on every time. And other variations, I'll just jerk it, check, and see if that variation's going to work for me that day. Honestly, I'm going through the variations until I find the one that they got it.
Do you think that a buff and a cat has the same biting style?
A catfish?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Well,
Catfish is going to nail it.
Yeah, the catfish is gonna nail it. And
Catfish are
hey,
hogs.
in mid sink, your ball ain't even sunk all the way.
Well,
That
that's
catfish is
right.
coming. The catfish is coming up and grabbing it.
Well, the reason I say that is because how a lot of times when a buff grabs your bait, it comes towards you like a cat does.
Like a brim.
Right.
Yeah.
Buffalo's more like a brim. You
Yeah.
know, brim fishing, and you get a bite, you jerk, you don't get nothing. It's like a little bit tricky, you know.
Yeah.
They're little jinky biters, and that's how I feel about buffs. They're more of a biting fish, and they try to get away with all kinds of stuff. They're really good at getting rid of the hook. So if you don't hook us up with that hook, and you don't catch them because they know how to get rid of the hook well. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, gotcha.
Better than yellow. They get rid of it better than yellow.
Oh yeah, they do.
And their mouth's smaller. That's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of got big mouth buffs or small mouth buffs?
We do got big mouth buffs around here, but I don't try to target them very often.
Right. Okay.
Only the smaller
They're hard
mouth.
to catch.
Only small. Yeah. That we have a lot of them here. A whole lot of them. And I think that's really the problem, is that we're getting more big mouth buffalo than we are small mouth buffalo. We do have some in there, but we got more big mouth buffs more than anything.
But the big mouth buffalo is the easier one to catch for sure.
Yeah.
But fishing for them around here, where I live in, Baden's got the majority of the big mouth buffaloes that I hear about around here, and it's a huge lake, so it's harder to target them. You know what I'm saying? It probably wouldn't be harder to catch, but they're harder to target them. Harder to find the fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bigger area.
Yeah.
So I just target the ones that I know where they're at, like a lot of them. So I target the smallmouth buffalo. They're easier for me to target. I already know where they're at. I already know what they like.
Yeah.
Simplified.
I got a question for you. Another question. And this is coming from Greg Deal. He says, what pickup do you use in pay lakes for buffs? Pops, puffs, or kicks? My bad, I can't read.
Nah, he said,
The truth is, they bite them all, man.
Yeah, you just gotta fish it, huh?
knowing that right flavor.
Making and buffing is sitting down where the buffaloes are feeding it. That's the secret. You can always draw fish in throughout the day, but it's easier to sit down on buffaloes. Whatever you guys are gonna work probably.
Do you flavor your pickup?
Yeah, I use flavor. I hardly ever use plain. I just think, flavor's better than plain.
Right. Right. Okay.
This next question is coming from Jack Ragland.
Jack. What's up, Jack?
Shout out to Jack, Naptown Monsters. Let's see, he said, this is a really good question. He said, is there really a buff way and a common way? Question mark. I have never seen a difference. I catch both and have no problems, but it's more the spot in the right time.
Yeah, that's accurate. I believe he's fairly accurate. I believe there is a different way, but they do bite similar. They are both very similar fish. So the bite from a yellow, everybody's seen the yellow. When they put new fish in the lake, they'll drop it back, they'll bite it, drop it back, and then you can jerk and catch it. It's very similar to a buffalo.
Yeah.
But there's a different way, buddy, for sure. It's different. The bite's totally different. But I encourage people to go wild buck fishing so they can get an idea of the real bite. If you fish in a pay lake for buffalo, the bite is way different.
Yeah.
It's because they've been, like I like to say, they've been domesticated. They've been in the pond for a while. They're kind of doing the same thing, like he was alluding to.
Oh,
That
gotcha.
they got the same bite. That's kind of when the buffs are in there for a while, they do adopt that same similar bite as a yellow. A lot of times they'll run it when they've been in there a long time. A lot of times they'll bite it similar to a yellow. So he's on point there. It is similar, you know, but there's also factors. Buff biting is more of a bite, and the yellow is more like a running thing.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Like the buff is sitting there kind of playing with it, picking it up type deal.
Yeah, he'll mess around with it and, several times before he actually takes it. It's just because his mouth is smaller. He's having a harder time getting it than a yellow.
All right, one for you.
I got another question from Todd Bright. What's his pressure on buffs? Bait, fresh, sweet, or sour?
That's a good
No,
question.
I'm at, see, those will all catch them, but I'm right at fermented. I'm not at sour, and I'm not at fresh. I'm at like fermented things for them. You know what I'm saying? Like freshly fermented fruit things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's more or less what I like to catch them on. Kind of like in the, you know, you see on National Geographic, I'm sure, all the apples and stuff fall from the trees, and all the animals, they come and eat it, and they're a little twisted. And
Yeah, they a little drunk.
They love it, right?
They a little drunk.
Yeah, they love it. And I think I adopt that same method when I'm dealing with buffs in the wild. I like that fermented bait. I don't like fresh bait because sometimes that's good and sometimes that ain't. I like more of a sure thing, more or less.
Now, do you ever add alcohol to your baits to kind of speed up that process?
No, because I'm gonna ferment it anyway, and it's gonna eventually turn into pretty much moonshine. Like that's what it's gonna smell like. So if you want alcohol, just let it sit for a couple more days.
It's really like it.
Right. Guys got a good more question?
Yeah, Dwan's got another question.
Oh, heck, wow.
Oh, that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, James. We'll find another.
Oh, now I'm on the spot.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I gotta read
Right
now.
on you. Put your eyes on.
Jeez. Okay.
Set eyes.
Don't make me have all in here. Fuck you up.
Cause I'll do it, brother.
All you carp anglers. Okay. What can you give of advice? Since you do a lot of wild buff fishing, what kind of advice can you give to chum your buff in?
I like whole corn, and there's the reason I do like whole corn is
I was like that.
Yeah.
it's a bigger profile of bait, you know, versus like cracked corn or versus like sweet feed that breaks down fast, you know.
Okay.
I like the whole piece of bait to be out there because that's similar to the size of the pickup bait I'm using. You know what I'm saying? I want them used to eating whole baits.
Right.
And then
So it's basically chum balls, right?
Say what?
It's kind of like chum balls. You're chumming balls out there, I mean, like, or you.
Well, we'll spawn it. We use
Spawn it,
spawn.
yeah,
We spawn bait, James.
Do we?
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, we
Came
throw
up.
it in spoons and slingshots and stuff like that.
Kayaking. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
but we don't do the balls thing, bro. You know what I mean?
I do balls. I mean,
I do them too. I've done it too.
Yeah.
In Del Hollow.
You can do it any way you want to do it, as long as you put that bait in a really tight area and you fish on top of that bait 100%.
so how tight is your area?
Probably 20 by 20, probably
20 by 20.
20 yards by 20, well, I'll say about 15 yards by 15 yards square, something like that.
All right.
Nothing real huge with bait spread out in like areas that are 30, 40 yards away from each other. I like to keep all mine in one spot, and I like to keep it really tight, the ridge right on top of it.
Right.
Like I'll jerk and hook a piece of corn, like
Right.
it's in there in the bait that I'm feeding, the free bait.
It's like fishing a bullseye type deal.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean, that's me. I try to fish in that same, you know, I want every rod if it hit that same ball, hit the same spot every time. There may not, if there's not fish there now, eventually they're gonna come in. Like, just like being in the wild, you chum, you know.
Yeah.
If I'm at the pay lake, I'll throw 5 balls here, 5 there, you know, and I ain't catch a fish on none of them, but I know them 5 balls are gonna break down in each spot and they're gonna spread out a little bit. So now I got a pile right there, and eventually they're gonna come.
I know I'm going to Del Hollow. My whole area is chums about 12 feet.
It's all about, you know, market. I
Make
mean,
it go is like 12 feet.
clip your line off. Throw your line out there where you got it marked at. Where you got your bait marked at. Clip it off and make sure you're going to that same exact spot every time. That's the most effective. You got the only bait out there in front of you, so you can fish a tight area. And if you want to search out some fish, I do that too. I'll search out 1 or 2 rods in different areas and try to add to the collection. But for the most part, I'm just sitting on this one hole waiting on these fish to come around top of me.
So what lake do you go fish at all the time for wild?
Pretty much all these lakes around here, but go to Lake Watery, South Carolina, boatfish. That's pretty much the best place I've found to catch them.
Nice. Huh.
That's cool.
My favorite anyway.
RJ Grinder said, have you ever been to Watery River and buff fished in South Carolina?
Yeah, I think he's talking about Lake Watery, South Carolina, where I fish at.
He
Always talking about.
yeah, he said that's where I fish at.
Yeah.
You gonna see him there?
Yeah, he's been watching you with binoculars. You just don't know it yet, man. He's trying to figure out that pickup.
Oh, there's that David guy again.
Well, it's important, man. The pickup is important. I definitely have my own secret pickups that I love better than anything.
Yeah, and now is that stuff that you figured out on your own, or maybe some advice that you had gotten from other people, or what?
The 2 people that were most influential in my carp fishing was my buddy Butch and my buddy Ryan Raven. They've taught me everything about this fishing. Really owe them a lot of credit for stuff they've taught me about carp, honestly.
So yeah, that was one of my questions. I was going to say, it's basically who's your biggest mentor. So I guess you basically answered that one.
Well, it was a 74-year-old man and a 76-year-old man. So they got enough experience to go around.
Old school.
And that's one thing that I can really vouch for too, man. Because the first time that I went to North Carolina, like I'm not even gonna, I'm not saying I was shocked. I just thought that, I would see a bunch of younger guys and younger kids down there, and it was totally different. Like there was a lot of older gentlemen that, obviously have been doing this
Long time.
Years.
3 times longer than I have. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Them old dudes will kick your ass out there on that third.
Oh, I know. Hey, I've seen it. I've seen it. First time I went down there, we're all throwing chow and they're throwing bread. We ain't have a run all day.
And they done caught 8 or 9, 12 fish on bread.
Man, they done caught more than that. And this was in December, and they're tearing them up. You know what I mean? But Chris Sutherland being the A1 Pay Lake owner that he is, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he told us, he's like, man, you guys need to go get some bread. So man, you should have seen us in the hotel room. 2 or 3 different hotel rooms, and all you hear is blenders going off at 2 in the morning.
You can't underestimate the anglers that fish the pond all the time to regular shoot. The fish are on bread. They already did that. They fish it all the time,
Yeah.
Once these fish go on bread down here in the wintertime, especially south, they go on bread. Everyone won't touch chow, but it'll eat bread just as fast as you can throw it in.
Yeah.
Do you use chow a lot?
Probably easier on their stomachs.
Say what?
So do you use chow a lot?
Yeah, I use chow. That's probably the #1 bait there is, chow.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? How much you guys paying for a bag right now?
I think it's like 84, 80. It might be up to 90 bucks. I ain't
That's cheap.
We need to put an order in.
That's cheap.
Gas money.
Because it's over 100. It was before it even went up. It was like at 105, I think. But I don't know what it's at now. But I'm sure it's 110, 115, if not more. You guys been having?
it's expensive.
Have you guys been having any problems down there with any floating chow?
Yeah, I actually think there is some stuff going on with that now, because I got some chow from the shack one day, and made it up the way I usually make it,
Why did
I was trying to make, but I put it in the bucket and tested it, and most of it floated. So yeah, there's been bad batches of chow that went around right now, and there's floating chow. We've had a problem with the Korea chow where they did some different things over the years right here. It's not exactly how it used to be. Like that.
What grade is that? Is that 200 or 300?
That's the number 2 shell, but
Number 2. Yeah.
anything you get bigger than that really
Yeah.
kind of floats anyway, though.
I always mess with 200, so I don't know. I really
2
think.
and 3 probably the most common used one around here, and then they've got some lakes that use like 5. I'm pretty sure it just floats.
Hey, when we was down there that year, Jack just said he's not playing. We had literally between all the Indiana guys that was there that day, we had 26 rods out, and we didn't have not one run on chow.
Huh.
Well, I can tell you right there, they're not biting shell.
Yeah, well, we figured out the hard way, but we was like, man, what are these brown balls that these guys are throwing? You know what I mean? Like they look brown. You know, and it was from Nestle's Hershey's chocolate mixed in with the bread to turn the bread brown.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
They use a lot of they
It's a hell of a game around here. They ain't done.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, hey, it's even worse here, man, because you know I can just imagine how it really is down there with you guys, because you guys do a lot of straight tournament style, like you know, I put my money up to take your money, pretty much like how we do on Sundays here.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, you know, our team is all about helping and all that stuff, man. But it's kind of hard here because you know, people
Well,
want
they're a
to.
great group of guys. They'll help you out. They'll net a fish for you, but they ain't gonna never tell you what they got to do.
Stay away from my bucket. Pretty much how it
Man,
is.
I don't know, man. It's, you know,
If it's any count, they ain't gonna tell you.
sometimes I'd rather net my own fish than let somebody else come up and net it. Just depending on who I'm fishing next to, I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to have somebody fishing partner with me, and me and him have good continuity with Lynn.
Yeah, not somebody that's gonna jab at your fish like, oh my bad, bro. You know what I mean?
That's just as
Yeah,
important.
it's pretty common for somebody to step in and be like, yeah, just let my partner get it. It's all good, buddy.
Yeah.
Who is your fishing partner?
Yeah.
You fish
Yeah,
it?
it's a big deal when you got a good fish on, and you could have caught it, but you didn't because somebody caught the second hook, and now he's swimming off back in the lake. I'd rather knock him off myself than somebody else do it.
Right.
Guarantee you that.
Yeah, for sure. How many fishing partners? Do you only have one fishing partner, or what's his name?
No, I got my number 1 fishing partner, Ron Raven. He's a legend. He's pretty much a legend around here. He's old. He's unstoppable. He's got all the experience. He knows exactly what to do.
He
So I
knows.
try to hang with him, and then I got another couple of partners I use. But yeah,
Huh.
I got several partners.
There you go.
Sometimes.
Now, this is I guess a personal question for me. Like when you pull up to the lake in the morning, like how do you really determine like which end or what spot you're really wanting to fish? Like, how do you pinpoint to where you think the fish are going to be at?
Mm-hmm.
That is an excellent question.
Good question.
That's one of the most important things.
Right.
Is location. Catch that fish, bro. Catch that fish.
Hold on, hey, are you at the lake right now?
Yeah.
That's hey, it don't get no better than that.
Catch it, bro.
He said, "Catch it, bro." Okay, what the fuck? Well, yeah.
That's funny. Good luck, shoot.
But yeah, back to the question. The location is everything. How I figure it out is when I go to the lake and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the fish and I'm trying to read the pond like everybody else, right? But I'll see fish. I'll see a group of fish, and they'll stay in that general area about 30 or 40 minutes before the draw. And there's usually spots that do really well at the pond pretty much every time, So they got holes that are good, and then when you see the fish activity, you know the fish are there. That's good enough for me. If I can see the fish out there jumping in front of me, I feel excellent about catching.
Yeah.
So when I see the fish, that's usually the spots that I'll target where I think there's a big fish. I try to catch it. I go with a strategy that catches the most, try to catch the most fish and get as many spots as possible, and sometimes that'll neglect the bigger fish. The bigger fish might be biting in the corners, or I'll try to go for the spots.
Yeah.
I think every time I go fish, I don't even really think about spots. I want that trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's coming up itself on the 9th, the Carp Master. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be trying to locate some bigger fish and seeing what's going on around the pond and where the bigger fish are getting caught. And I'll put a plan together, and then the draw will happen, and the whole plan will change. But we'll still come up with something. Oh, fish on.
Fish on.
Is he big? Is he big? Go over there. Go over there. Keep moving it.
You got a question?
No,
Yeah, I do. I got a question. Like, what lake or body of water would be like your dream lake or river or whatever to fish? What would be a dream place to go for you?
I like all these lakes around here, but Lake Watery is one of my favorite lakes. This period is Lake Watery, South Carolina.
Why is
It
that?
just has every species you can think of.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, is that a reservoir or?
Yeah, it's call it Lake Watery, but yeah, it's more or less like
Watery.
a sandy river lake. It's kind of how I describe it. Oh, shit, man.
He said, put it in.
Little one's got to eat too. Ricky done busted
Yeah,
a hole.
yeah. Ricky does.
We've got a guppy.
Little stub tail, ain't it?
A little football.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, you guys, man. We got one of our teammates sending pictures of a fish he just caught.
We over here breaking our necks.
That thing didn't look like it didn't have a tail, was it?
Right.
Got a new guy today.
This is how I would gauge it. I'd say the location is the number one. How sharp your hook is number two.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pick up number three and probably bait number four. That's how I go about it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's a lot of good information,
That
especially
is.
for, we have a lot of people that come out on our show and watch us periodically. A lot of people can't really just sit down and watch it, the whole time.
Right.
So it's good that people can come back and listen to this information that we're giving.
We're still here.
Oh, definitely.
So hey, here's a question. What is the weirdest bait that you ever used?
The weirdest bait,
The weirdest bait.
I don't know. I try to stick with the standards that are going
Oh, okay.
on.
So even at the beginning, or
lakes, right?
okay, gotcha.
Probably the weirdest to me probably is like fermented soybean, because I've come up with that recipe, and it's intricate because it's different ways you can do it. You could have it smelling like alcohol. You could have it smelling like fermented fruit. You could have it fresh gassy smells that are almost fermented.
Right.
So probably fermented soybean probably be the weirdest thing I ever used. The chow's pretty standard. Rice is pretty standard. Grits is pretty standard. Millet pretty standard. I don't know. That's a weird question.
Yeah, pretty bad.
No, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And people have tried everything there is, but
Right. How old are you,
it really
David?
gets weirder than that. But
How old are you?
I'm 36.
36? Okay, gotcha.
Youngin.
Yeah, I'm 39. I'm right there with him.
No, you're
Far
good.
from him. Let me ask you this: what is the craziest experience that you've had while fishing?
I got a bunch of those.
I don't know if I should
Say
say that.
so.
Go ahead, this is Adult Channel now.
No, bro, I don't know. Wildlife gives me a good fit out here. I have deer swam through my line before. I put the beaver and deer caught it before. All kind of stuff's always happened.
No. That's pretty weird.
Yeah, that's
That's something I haven't had on my bucket list is a deer boat or no.
deer.
At boats.
Man, James, I don't think I've ever seen you
What?
catch anything on your line.
Get him, brother.
It's not on the line.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think you have a better chance of a deer swimming through your line.
Son of a bitch!
Let me get out the way.
So, I'm good. We're good.
I've had some wild experiences, but I'm not thinking about them. Kind of got me in the spot with that one. I've had some wild experiences.
right, any more?
I talked rigging with y'all a little bit.
Yes, please.
The rigging that I use wild fishing is what I believe is the most important when you're wild fishing. Just because the way the fish feed,
Yeah.
and I like to have like a balanced bait. You know what a balanced bait is, right?
No, maybe, no.
Tell us about it.
Well, if you use a hair rig, right,
Okay.
that's what I usually like to use wild fishing now. See, my fishing's evolved. Kids keeps on evolving, right?
Right.
But now I've got to where I like to use a hair rig, and I like to use a piece of corn puff cereal shrunken down and a tiger nut together.
Okay,
So one
gotcha.
of them floats and one of them sinks, and that balances the pickup bait out.
So like a snowman.
Yeah, and when he picks that up in his mouth, a balanced bait, and once he sucks that up in his mouth, it goes in so easy because it's balanced.
Okay.
And that's what I think a lot of time really makes the biggest difference is it goes in his mouth. So if he ain't feeding strong, he doesn't have to pick that bait up very strong at all for it to suck the whole hook link and everything into his mouth. The farther you can get it back in his mouth, the better your chances is of hooking him. You know?
Okay.
So a balanced bait is pretty much my go-to every time.
Okay, I could dig it. Now with the rigs, now I know on the Pay Lakes you're allowed 2 hooks. How about the wild down there? Are you allowed to use 2 hooks in the wild on the same line?
You could, but
I mean, is it?
one of the problems that I ran into with using 2 hooks in the wild is I was fishing a spot where you landed the fish was a shallow area. It
Right.
wasn't about 6-8 inches deep right there when you got the fish close. And when you got your net down there and you got 2 hooks and you got shallow water and your fish is basically coming right to you on its side, that second hook is going to catch that net every time in that fishing situation. You know what I'm saying? So a single hook's definitely the way to go if you're bringing your fish into shallow water.
Okay.
And if you got snags, a single hook's definitely the way to go. You don't want that second hook catching anything when you got a 50-pound fish on your line.
Okay, that's another question right there. Do you prefer a snaggy area or an open area?
Well, I guess both, because the area I fish, the left-hand side, is really snaggy, and I kind of fish up to the edge of it. You know, kind of fish close to the structure, but not in the middle of it.
Okay.
And then the right-hand side is not snaggy at all. It's more like a sandy, small gravel deposit area, and that's the area that I try to get my fish into that area when I land it, away from the snags.
All right. How many rods are you allowed to use out in the wild down in that area?
I have no idea. I don't think we got rules like that.
Yeah, here in Indiana we're only allowed 3 rods. I know Ohio next to us is only allowed 2. Michigan, is it 2?
I think it's 3.
3?
3 in Michigan.
I
Yeah.
think there actually is a limit, but I don't think it's highly enforced, honestly.
Okay.
I never heard of that, honestly.
You hear
Do
that,
you know, you ever heard of Austin Anderson?
Austin Anderson, no, not right offhand.
He does a Buffalo guide service out of Austin, Texas.
Dave? Really good. He was on our show a
Yeah,
couple
we
weeks
just did a
ago
show with him a couple weeks ago.
on buff fishing.
Yeah, on
Monster buffs.
yeah, 50s and
They got
60s.
bigger buffs in Texas, there ain't
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, you should check out that video. That's on our YouTube channel. It's a really good one. A whole
Yeah.
good segment.
That was a good one.
Uh,
A lot of good information.
Yeah, a lot of good
too.
information, especially in the whole wild thing. Man, what was the biggest buff that he pulled out there? It was like 54?
No, it was bigger. It was
Oh.
in the 60s.
60, sorry.
It was 60. It was 60 something. I want to believe 61, 62.
Yeah, I mean, incredible thing.
They get a little bit bigger down there.
Yeah,
I usually catch 50s every year
Nice.
here in South
Nice.
Carolina, but
Man, we
lots
heard
of
that.
high 40s, lots of mid 40s, 30s. And water, the average fish is usually around 20, 25 pounds when you catch a buck down there.
Now, do you guys got?
Catch-
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're no. I ain't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'll wait.
They got small buffs too. You'll catch some small buffs too, but mostly when you fish wintertime,
Yeah.
usually you're fishing for bigger buffs.
Yeah. Now,
Average fish is usually around 20-something pounds.
in the Pay Lake, now you guys got aerators at your lakes, correct?
Yeah, they got aerators and diffusers, and we got paddle wheels and different things.
Now, when you go there, now do you try to, when you're fishing for buff, do you try to get like next to one of the aerators that's putting out water, or are you looking for maybe a calmer area to where, you know what I mean?
No, not really. I'm looking for an area where the buffs are porpoising at. That's honestly what I'm looking for. If I'm buffalo fishing, going there to buff fish specifically, or if I'm going for gills, it would probably be different. But no, I'm looking for the buffs. I'm looking for where they're at, where the area they finally like to be at, the area they finally get caught at. That's usually where you can target the easiest at.
Yeah.
Is it normally where? Is it normally where you catch them? Where you catching them at? Is it normally like a clean bottom? How's the bottom?
No, I feel like it's silt bottom most of the time with these Pay Lakes.
Okay.
And you'll get some harder spots out there. You can definitely find some harder spots in your fishing area, but mostly silt.
So what are you looking for when you go to Pay Lake? When you go for buffs?
I'm looking for where the buffs are showing. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean like a corner. I mean how or
No,
what?
it's not that. It's like wherever they are showing.
Yeah, like wherever they'll come up and they'll
Oh, just come up. From
yeah,
the water?
they'll come up and they'll jump. They won't jump all the way out of the water, but they'll come up and go back.
Roll.
You know, they'll roll.
Okay.
They'll come up and go down, and then they'll come up and thrash at time. Pretty standard. You see them do that, but buffs around these lakes, they don't bite all the time. So it's just when you're there, you start figuring it out. You start seeing what's happening. You start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And start unlocking the code. And the tournament usually just goes how it goes, you know.
Yeah. What's the most winnings that you ever won on jug? Or did you? Maybe you may probably already answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
No, I hit what we got at South Basin. They got a floating jug, which is the biggest one to fish, and
Yeah.
they actually added a jug to it because it didn't get hit, and it was called a second chance floater. And I hit that one for $13.85.
Okay.
$2,055 in one tournament. So I'll get a couple $1,000, $2,000 or $3,000 probably most of it.
Do you have any wild tournaments over there?
They got some tournaments like that, but honestly, I try to keep a low profile.
Oh, gotcha. Huh.
You know, keep the spots a secret. Keep the,
Oh,
low
gotcha.
profile.
The secret man.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we
Secret
got a
service.
bunch of that going on here too.
Yeah, we do.
Everybody there.
I'm all about preserving the information.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. It's all.
What time do we call in though? What we can?
What time we got?
Yeah.
About 8 o'clock. Yeah, I guess we're gonna we got William Rare to call here soon. So, hey, any shout outs you want to give out?
Yeah, are you sponsored by anybody?
Yeah, you just already said that.
No, I'm just sponsored by me.
Yeah.
That's sponsored everything I do.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been keeping a low profile, and you know, I'm coming out of that a little bit with y'all and other things I'm doing. But no, I don't think I got no need for a sponsor yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, it's great information that you gave
I mean,
us.
even though you didn't tell us your secrets and everything.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
That's fine.
You know, we're fine with that.
I'll give you some. I'll give you some more knowing, but
Yeah.
there's more secret.
No, yeah, for sure.
But I do like the style you got. You know what I'm saying, between your rigs, how you set up, and your wild. You know, I like to hear a lot of people. I like hearing when carp anglers go out to the wild a lot. You know, fish out in the wild. You know.
That's mostly what I do. I love that project.
But hey, David, thank you very much for coming on to our show. We really appreciate you. I definitely want to talk to you more in the future, if that's all right with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hopefully next time we talk to you, man, you'll be selling them indicators.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about making y'all guys a set. Just
I
I
appreciate
would
it.
definitely love to have a set.
Take a set too.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
One of a kinds.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'll definitely.
You ever been up
As soon as I
to
get them, I'm gonna put them to the test. I'm gonna let you know how good they work for me.
They're already
Do a
probably
video.
tested. They're right.
No, I know they're already tested, but you wouldn't.
I hope you
Yeah. No, that's the thing though. You know what I mean?
That's what he wants. He wants to use those.
No, I do want to use them. Shit, even if I had to pay for them, you know what I mean? Shit, I'll pay my way.
Oh, they'll cost you a little bit, but I think we can make it work.
There you
Yeah,
go.
for sure, man.
Nice,
Send me a
nice.
personal message and everything, man. And I like to get some of them for myself, for sure.
All right. Thanks a lot, David.
Appreciate you, David, man.
Right on,
Appreciate you
David.
tuning in. All right, you too, brother.
So our next guest is going to be Bear. Is he with a phone number yet?
But I can't stop touching this.
Yeah, they're good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he said two.
So, hey, man, you got a lot of good information.
No, I mean, every person that we've pretty much
Yeah.
talked to about Buffalo has, I mean, obviously
Yeah,
given
great.
a lot of good information.
Right.
You know, it's good that they're willing to share a lot of this good information too, you know what I mean? Because they've been
Yeah, it
fishing
is.
for buffalo in North Carolina and South Carolina
Right.
way before a lot of us guys here have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they've been having buffalo down there.
And you guys out there, we really appreciate the questions that you guys are giving our hosts, our guests on the show. You know, us too. So I mean, but yeah, we'll see. Let's try to get hold of Bear. The
Yeah,
Bear.
let's give the old Buckmaster a call.
Donkey man, what do you say?
I'm gonna have him bust a flow for us too while we got him on here.
Oh.
I'm gonna have him sing one of his songs for us, 'cause he's got a couple of them. I'm gonna have him sing the Buff Johnson song. Watch.
Buff Johnson.
You know, he made that last year. He was sitting in the truck on the first qualifier of the year is when he made that.
Was it the MBQs or the Midwest?
No, it was the first.
No.
It was the first
Midwest.
Midwest Carp
Yeah.
Master.
Just for you, Jack.
Hello?
What's going on, Buff Johnson?
Bear.
It's him.
That's great. Welcome to our show, Carp Talk. How you doing, bro?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Just been actually watching the show, so.
What?
That's what's up.
Yeah, he said I ain't doing nothing, just buffing around.
We got people watching the show. That's great.
Prop it up.
You guys got a little bit of viewers by now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried,
This
man.
little series, especially lately, now y'all, you know, you've had quite a few, so it's
Yeah.
gonna be a nice thing.
Yeah, I think we're starting something special. You know, a lot of special things here. I mean,
It
especially
is.
because there's people out there that.
The way this year's been, you know,
Yeah.
it really hasn't fired up big time here yet. It's still just been,
It's the beginning.
not that people ain't catching fish, but you
Yeah.
guys know what I mean, this, the weather and everything, so it even just still gives us a little bit of time to sit back, talk, and think about fishing,
Heck yeah.
because, you know, not everybody's really hitting it hard yet.
No.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I've been patient. I've been kind of putting it off a little bit.
So, okay, guess what? Basically, we've been talking to all the other guests, and what you tell for people that don't know the Bear, why don't you tell them about yourself a little bit, what you do for living, and how long you been fishing? I guess carp fishing.
Well, my name, William Tanasovich, you know, if you're familiar
Say
with
the
me, some
name.
ain't, some are, but.
Ransom fish. I'm sorry, real quick.
And, I'm a flooring installer.
Okay.
You know, I do a lot of carpet, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And I've done that since 2007. And I'm 32 years old right now.
Okay.
I've been fishing, I think, since I was about 2 years old.
Nice.
I've been chasing carp and wanting to catch carp. I'd say it's somewhere maybe around 8, 9, 10. You know, somewhere around in there. It just stemmed from already fishing from, you know, smaller fish, panfish, bass, and everything, and seeing carp in the lakes that I'm fishing.
Right.
As a kid, and thinking, man, what can we catch them on? And back then, you know, we would get on AOL online and look up and try to find these recipes and stuff. And some stuff we didn't have any luck on, you know, some things we tried and it worked, and some things didn't. But the first
the first bait I ever caught a carp on that I ever made and it actually worked. You know, it was just loaf bread, just a slice of bread
Yeah.
with blue cheese and raspberry Kool-Aid and just smashed up into a dough ball.
Nice.
And that was probably about 9-10 years old, I'm guessing, somewhere in there. And
When was the last time?
I've been hooked on carp fishing really ever since.
When was the last time
I
you?
started going to pay lakes. I started going to pay lakes really as a preteen, maybe young teenager
Right.
with my friend Ricky Johnson. Ricky used to be called Ricky Carp Master Johnson. You know, a lot of you guys know him.
Yeah, I heard of
But
it.
his older sister's boyfriend would take us to 1111 and to Indy Lakes
Uh-huh.
when we was kids.
Leon
And
Wall.
that's where my love of bay lake fishing came from, you know.
Nice.
And as I got older, you know, we kind of didn't go as much as we were teenagers. You know, you're doing whatever. We still fish, we carp fish, but there's a lot more neighborhood ponds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and then eventually I got back into pay lake fishing again. That I was grown, you know, making my own money, and I was wanting to try to get back into it. Well, I showed back up with my dope bait that I always used, you know, and it wasn't a hot thing, you know, when we brought it back. So.
$32.15. Third fish caught. About 12 hours into the session.
On bottom feeder, flavored corn and carp cocaine.
Yep. My PB fell to bottom feeder baits again.
I was maybe mostly getting lucky, you know, but when I first started catching or start seeing them and you start thinking about it, I think just that has a lot to do with it too. Just your mindset is going to help you do anything. You know, positive vibes,
Yeah.
that's always going to help you. But
That confidence too.
some
Yeah.
of my opinions, you know, on buff fishing could vary from ones that we've heard because the difference between the three types of buffaloes that are in our lakes.
Yeah.
So down south, it's majority smallmouth buffalo.
Smallmouth buffalo.
Right.
With some black buffalo in there too, some big mouth buff, and a lot of lakes don't have big mouth buffs in it. They only
In
have
ours,
smallmouth.
yeah, in ours here, we have a shit ton
Up
of them.
here is majority big mouth, and any of our lakes that have them, it's mostly big mouth buffs with some smallmouth buffs with some black buffalo in there. But typically, the biggest ones that are here, I believe, are usually maybe a black buffalo that gets stopped. The very biggest one on the load sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that as far as like smallmouth buffs are the most bottom feedingest ones. So
Okay.
that's why down there, that's the biggest one that they stop compared to up here. Sometimes the big mouth buffaloes, it takes them a little bit longer to get, like the last guy said, to get domesticated to the pond.
See, that's what I heard.
They're a naturally filter feeding fish.
Oh, I hear it almost takes like a whole year for them just actually to
Even more sometimes.
really.
Oh
When
wow.
it's happened where we've seen lakes that have put in some big ones, and it
And-
took maybe 2-3 years before the biggest one put in was caught.
Wow.
And that
There's-
can happen.
I mean, there's still a lot of big buffs in Indies that has never been caught.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And there's also a lot of big buffs that's never been caught at Hubbard's too.
And
Because-
you know, certain lakes, like when you've got a lot of fish in a lake too, you know, that's where sometimes it's just gonna take luck. It's just gonna take you getting lucky to catch that very biggest one.
Because there's
there's so many fish in the lake, and there's a lot of fish that bite a lot, I'm sure. It's not just a couple fish that bite. You know, we got pretty decent biting lakes up here.
Right.
So we got fish in our lakes, you know, so sometimes that is going to make it a little bit tougher to see them biggest ones come out.
Now, for the people out there watching, can you guys hear Bear pretty good? Give us a thumbs up. Share this video too at the same time if you can.
Put up some couple group pages.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure you guys can hear him.
Yeah, looks like we got some thumbs up.
Yeah, we got a couple thumbs up so we can hear him.
How you been doing, Bear?
I've been alright.
Yeah.
Ain't fished a whole lot lately, but
Yeah.
you know, I just had a lot going on, but it's not like you ain't gonna see me around, you know, I'm gonna be out there.
Yeah, for sure.
What's
I
up?
went the other day, and I was actually trying to get a nice one, so just to have one to talk about, but
Yeah.
didn't make it happen. I
Fishing,
ended
dude.
up catching a decent comment and won the date for it.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a little bit of fun.
Right.
For the people out there watching us live, man, if you guys got any questions for Bear that you would like us to ask,
Fire away.
yeah, fire away, and I'm sure they're gonna come, man, because we got a lot of people that's watching
Even
from our home lake.
Bear-
So.
Same
Bear-
questions that you asked David.
Bear, have you been to Texas yet?
No.
Is there any?
It's definitely something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Hey, look up Austin Anderson, bro. He has an A1 guide service, bro. That all you gotta do is fly out there, Bear.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's got everything. He's got the rods, you know, the setup, everything.
I see the big difference between me and some other guys we talked to also is
You want to do it yourself?
I've never really caught a wild buck. I've never really fished a wild form like that.
Yeah.
So that's some of the difference. All my knowledge is Pele knowledge, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, you're good at what you do, Bear. You know what I mean. You're a good fisherman, so you should be able to. You know yourself. You can go anywhere and catch a fish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
But some of my opinions, you know, that I have on buffalo fishing is like a lot of guys have said, you know, the location that means a lot because you'll find spots on any of our lakes that produce more buffs than others. You know, there's always going to be spots like that. It might be a deeper spot, maybe typically towards the middle more sometimes. But there's also just pure luck, you know. Anyone can get lucky. You can catch really buffs on anything. I mean, I've caught them right off the bank with rice. I've caught them off the, you know, on the most non-buff type baits you would think of. I've caught them on, at least, if not of anything, out of just pure luck. But then there's a thing I like to call, you know, pattern fishing, where when you go and you put some time in, maybe at a certain lake or with a certain bait or with a certain pickup, whatever it might be, sometimes you'll find a pattern. So you might find a spot that's producing buffs good for you, better than other spots that you're fishing, or you might find a bait that's producing for you just a little bit better than other things. And it's dialing in on those, your experiences that you have on yourself. It's just dialing in on what's working and what ain't for you.
Yeah.
So a lake that I used to fish a whole lot, you know, Ace Lake.
Yeah.
That was a lake that
I remember that.
I highly enjoyed fishing, and I put some time in at it, you know, for sure. But I had literally a year where if I could, I fished the same spot every time I went, if I could. But I brought the same bait, the same pickups every time.
Right.
You know, I just had that much faith in what I knew was consistent for me. You know.
Okay.
And so like your experiences, you know, is something that's going to teach you. You can teach yourself how to catch a buck. That's what I'm saying. Because in a Pele, they're not necessarily just trained to eat one thing. I mean, up here, flavor sale, yeah, you can say, you know, our fish eat great chow, but truthfully, not everybody on the lake is throwing great chow all the time.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. There's a lot of pickups in people's bags.
Make sure I get
They might be using attractants in their bait. They might not be. They might be using bait with a lot of flavor. They might be using bait with a little bit of flavor. You know, it's just what each guy has their faith in is normally what they're going to use.
Right.
Yeah, like confidence is a big thing. It's hard to break too.
So we got like.
So,
Go ahead, Bear.
so like up here, there's so much great chow that gets used, which we all know. You know, that's probably the most dominantly used bait.
Yeah.
So, of course, buffs are going to be caught on great chow because the fish see great chow every day the lake's open.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Someone's going to be using it. So, of course, a fish, if the more they see something in a pay lake, it's going to be food to the fish.
Almost definitely.
But there is, you know, there's a lot more out there than great chow. That's the thing.
All
I've
right.
had experiences, you know, using baits that is not what everybody's using. Where I've come out and there's 50 or more guys, you know, 50 guys signed in the night board of hunters. So there was 50 guys out there carp fishing. And I'm sure 45 of them was using chow. Probably 35 of those guys was using great chow. You know, I came out there with some sour soybean.
Star soybeans.
And it was good and sour. It was probably 3 or 4 weeks old. You know, and I throw out. And it's a packed house. When I pulled up, actually, they told me, hey, there's no spot out there. I can't even sell you a batch. I said, no, I've talked to Shane. He's got a spot next to him. He's back here. I said, oh, yeah, okay. You know, so I go back there, and literally, he squeezes me in, you know, but he did have me a spot there, though.
Yeah.
So I get in, and I start fishing, and let me tell you, he's wearing them out. You guys know, a lot of y'all know him, you know, he was on fire. So I pulled up next to him with the chow that he uses and everything, and I told him, dude, I might not even catch a fish. You know, I'm sitting here throwing this. It might be a bad move to come out here on this night and throw something like this next to you.
Right.
You know? And this is still cold water fishing too. This is when, like I said, almost probably everyone there was throwing chow.
Okay.
And I'm going to rebait actually. I'm not even on top of my rods. I just finally decided, hey, I'm gonna put some bait on them again, you know. So I walk down there and all I see is the flutter on my straw.
Yeah.
Because I don't fish with slack line like a lot of
You don't do that?
guys do. They fish with slack line when they're walking for the bite. I fish with my line
Yeah.
really tight. So my straw's fluttering, and I swing on it, and I said, oh, this ain't nothing, this is something small.
Right.
You know, and Shane goes, yeah, right, knowing you know, you're going to pull up, it's going to be a good buck. And he's joking around with me, and I bring this fish in, and sure enough, yeah, it was I think a 21-pound buffalo. I ended up winning a big fish of the night.
Nice.
You know, and that's on a bait that some guys say don't even work here.
That showed them,
You
huh?
know, that night, hey, it took $5 out of their pocket.
Hey, Bear, we got about 3 or 4 questions here for you that's coming from online.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, go ahead, DeWan.
I got one for you. It's from Chad. What is that? Rink.
Yep.
What's the best pickup for buffs?
Alright. What I've had a lot of no lie, I don't use a lot of plain, you know.
Okay.
I do use a lot of flavored pickups.
Flavor? Gotcha.
But what I've had more luck on than probably anything is like a mixture of either grape, blueberry, or corn.
Cool.
Yep.
Um,
Those 3
corn flavor,
flavors,
or?
I've caught tons of them. Sometimes I'll mix some,
Mhm.
sometimes I'll use just each one individually, but
Right.
I've caught a lot on that. That's one flavor I really haven't heard people talk about, blueberry. But, you know, I had one on bait to make the flavor for me in 2018. Buffalo Johnson. And it definitely works in our lakes up here, without a doubt.
Right.
I mean, I caught buffaloes and good ones at every lake that was open that year, just using that in bait and in pickups.
This next one's gonna come from RJ Grinder. What's the furthest you have drove to a pay lake fishing?
The furthest I have drove is to Vale, NC,
Oh, wow.
which a lot of y'all know, what's there. That's to Creekside Carp Barn.
Yeah.
Joe Lutz's.
Shout out to Joe.
Joe. Love Joe.
Definitely a great, great lake. I think I've been down there about 5 times.
Yeah.
4 times, we literally just went down there, fished for 8 hours, come back home.
Wow.
That's how much we like fishing there, At one time, I actually got a chance to go, and I fished it for 3 days.
All right, go ahead, Dwan, with this next question.
All right, this is from William Cicilline. I hope I said that right. But most consistent flavor you got, or you like to use?
Yeah,
Most consistent flavor.
Yeah.
That you like to use for
It's
bugs.
gotta be grape, right?
Great.
Honestly, for me up here, it is great. Just because a lot of times people might even assume that I'm using chow, just by seeing what I'm throwing, because
It's dark.
my soybean is as dark as your chow.
Okay.
9 times out of 10. Now I do make banana, which it's weird to me, but when I do make the banana, I catch less buffs when I make a batch of banana bean than I do when I make the grape buff.
Yeah.
And that could be just because our fish
Are so used to the grape.
see so much grape. But honestly, my bait doesn't smell like grape, so it could be a color thing too.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just because you ever smelled my bean?
Not never smelled it, dude.
The best way to describe mine, I got a certain way I make it. And honestly, it's the first time I ever made soybean, it was just the way that I made it the first time, and I've stuck with it. And somehow I just got lucky enough and found something that was decent. But mine kind of smelled about like a foot.
He said it smelled like a foot.
stinky foot.
They like that stinky stuff.
Jay, when we told people you was gonna be on the show and everything earlier, I told everybody that I'm gonna have to get you to bust a flow and sing one or two. Hey, at least sing one before the show's over with. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. You know what I mean?
Hey,
But
I'll beatbox for you too.
yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, cause hey, Jack was like location for sure. He said and different times of year. He said now I'm staying on here to hear him spit a
That's
flow.
what I do. Yeah.
But yeah,
It definitely has a lot to do with the spot you fish, that's
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because there is spots at a lake where you just don't see them come out. I mean, maybe once a year or once in a blue moon, And even in lakes that I'm talking about that has them, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Where
Well,
there's plenty in there. But there's just certain spots where you might be able to catch a lot of fish, but you might not be able to catch many bugs.
yeah. Well, this next question's is coming from our new sponsor of Team Fish Fighters, Tyler Kreis from Carp King. This is a pretty good question, Bear. Do you think other baits can catch the new buffs or the buffs that may have never been seen to hit the banks yet? Because if everyone is throwing chow for a year, no one catches those buffs. It seems like they are not eating chow.
Yeah, and what I can say to that is, really, I don't exactly have something that I can say would guarantee to catch the new ones. And this is why, is because it's dominantly big mouth buffs that we stop. And I have definitely caught new ones where you can tell the fish is so big, they're so round, their body shape compared to their head size, the cleanliness of it, you got a good one. And my biggest buff is on chow,
Nice.
believe it or not.
Yeah.
And was fishing. We're up here. We're allowed to use sweet corn in our pay legs. Some we're not, but
Yeah.
mostly we are. And I was actually throwing some sweet corn down the bank, and it wasn't doing anything. And it started to get dark, so I went ahead and rebaited with some chow on top of that corn, and that's how I caught my biggest bug.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah. It was more than likely luck. It was more than likely I just got lucky that night. And hey,
So I got,
Yeah, I was going to say, welcome to the show, James.
yeah.
Welcome to the show, James. Do you have a question?
I do have a question, thank you very much. Man, you should look at the ones right here. So, do you, Bear, do you have a hard time staying around your rods when you fish?
not particularly, but
I mean, are you like always on the other side of the lake?
I don't mind to socialize when I'm fishing. I'm there to have a good time regardless, you know. I love to catch fish,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm more of a jug fisherman than a tournament fisherman up here,
Right.
because I know I got bait that catches fish, and I like
Oh,
to
yeah.
go out there and catch them, you know.
I got it.
If I know I want to go out there and jug fish and catch 20, a tournament sometimes it's hit and miss, you know. You're not
Right.
going to kill them every time, just
Exactly.
simply because you're not always going to be in a hole
Right.
that's going to allow you to kill them every time.
When you was on the team when you was on the team a while back, I did a video. I was video shooting you at the Ace Lake, and he was on the other side of the lake, and your alarm was going off, and everybody's all yelling at you, "Bear!" And you're running from one lake to, and of course your alarms are just screaming.
He was in 3, running all the way over to 4.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that little video up. I'm gonna put that little video up.
Rain poncho.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
he
was.
was.
It was raining
Yes,
that
he
day.
was.
But I took off running.
We was all, Bear! Bear! Alarm going on,
All right, of
Bear!
course, everybody's got to throw out Forrest Gump.
Run, boys! I think I did say that.
But every time you do catch a buff, what do you scream out every single time? Bear.
Home, boys.
No, not that one. You always say there's another one you say.
Let's hear it.
Swamp donkey.
Oh, we say that a lot. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that, really I got from my buddy Devin Carmichael.
Okay.
We used to all fish together a lot. It was called TDB, Team Don't Blink. And
I like that.
Devin, Wyatt, Pope, it was Kyle Pearson, Robert Hubbard Jr.,
Okay.
and me, and Shane Fitzpatrick, and I believe Brandon Emerton.
All right.
But Devin is a really fun person to fish with too, and he used to scream swamp donkey across the
Swamp
lake.
donkey.
And that's where it kind of started.
That's when everybody, as soon as somebody hears Swamp Donkey, we all be over like, eek-ah, eek-ah.
Right there.
That's funny.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we like to have a good time out
Oh, yeah,
there.
heck yeah.
That's what we come to do more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people really already know who you are, Bear and everything like that, man. But don't you guys kind of got a new team name going on?
Yeah,
Got a couple
yeah.
teammates you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a new team. It's a little bit smaller now, but it's called Fear the Root.
Oh, the
Shane
rig.
Fitzpatrick and Zach Meyer.
Those
And I'll tell you what, they're some heavy hitters, man.
No, they definitely are. They're definitely producing fish and everything like
I'm
that.
still a little kind of a simp compared to them boys some days.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Bear. Where did because you guys really came out of the blue with the Fear the Root thing, you know what I'm saying, and started posting it and hashtagging it and everything. So let everybody know that's watching like where that kind of originated from.
Okay. So that really comes from a couple guys that are fishing in North Carolina, and J.D. Higgs, Tyler Watkins, and J.D.'s grandfather, David, Fuller, which is basically Uncle Dave.
Yeah.
So we kind of just asked them, hey, can we get on board with Uncle Dave's root juice, you know? And they said, hey, you're in there, bud. So now since then, you know, that's been our thing, you know, Uncle Dave's and Fear the Root. That was already their slogan, Fear the Root. You know?
Fear the root.
We just, once we, you know, got us some Uncle Dave's and got a chance with it, you know, you can't go back.
Oh yeah.
Now, is that Uncle Dave's, like, is that by a certain flavor company, or do they own their own company, or?
It's the most top secret thing out there. It's something that
Top secret.
everyone knows what it is, but no one knows what it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's one of them things. Sometimes I don't even think I even know what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people when, you know, they hear about it and stuff like that. Is it something that they can get their hands on? I guess that would be the question. You know what I mean?
Oh man, it's top secret.
Yeah,
Can we get our hands on it?
Could they get their hands on the exact Uncle Dave's root juice?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's top
Probably
secret.
not.
Fruit juice.
But I'm sure one day there'll be a way too.
Yeah, for sure, man. With all the flavor companies and everything, are you guys sponsored by anybody, or you know what I mean, or you guys just pretty much throw what you want?
Yeah, we actually are not. We're not sponsored by anyone. In the past, I've fished for Bubba J's Carp Flavors with Ty Dawson.
Yeah.
And, I had great luck,
You was on
honestly, using his stuff.
one-on-one, wasn't
The first year or two that I fished, that's
you?
pretty much predominantly what I used. And I still, you know, use some flavors from Lake Monster today that are original Bubba J's flavors that's carried over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've also fished for a whole solid year for one-on baits. And I literally used one-on baits for the entire year. How Phil Lucas fishes, everyone knows, you know.
Yeah.
Which now I think he uses a little bit of R&W because Joe Lutz,
Yep.
it's kind of it's not the same stuff, but it's under one guy now, so it's not, he doesn't feel like, you know, that's...
He has to be dedicated to straight one-on because one-on is owned by the same, and R&W is, yeah.
But I did use one-on baits for, a solid year, and I had great luck with it.
Yeah.
So and what it done for me, just doing that, it just added some stuff to my arsenal that I didn't have, you know. It forced me to learn what I liked from one-on baits. And that's how I came up with the Buffalo Johnson flavor, was by experimenting with the stuff that I'd already received, you know.
Right.
And they still sell that on one-on too, don't they?
Oh yeah, it was it still is, but it was a really, really popular flavor when it came out. It would sell out as quick as anything. But I had a lot of luck using that at 11:11, but I definitely caught good fish at Hubbard's, at Ace, you know, everywhere that I took it, it worked.
Nice. You got any questions? Or anybody out there?
What's your PB buff?
It's shameful, man. It really is.
What?
Because I'm known for catching them, but really my biggest isn't huge. And you know, some of that is just because up here, you really have to really get lucky, you know, to catch a big giant.
Right.
You either got to catch the biggest one in there at the time, or you know, catch a one that's really fresh or something like that. Because the biggest old one, even though he's been caught probably a couple of times, is still a smart fish. You're still going to take a lot of luck just to pull that fish out from a million others, you know what I mean?
All right.
But to go out there and consistently catch them, that's when it takes something that you've probably done, you know, a couple of times. But my biggest is a 27.5.
Damn. That's still good size.
Yeah, it's a good sized buff
Damn near
though.
30 shit.
I ain't even hit the 30 mark neither. So.
My biggest is 15, so.
Mine's 26.
And I caught that out
What did you do?
of
Cataract.
Roberts.
What, 26?
26?
26 inches maybe.
Yeah, I thought you
It
got
wasn't.
Somebody, he paid
How I caught
somebody.
that buff, like I said, I caught it
26.
chilling corn and
That's good.
ended up catching it on tail, but I was fishing a Wednesday night tournament at Hubbard's,
Yeah.
and I got dead last draw. And I was fishing with my partner Shane, and I'm thinking, man, you know, where are we gonna go? You know, well, we see the backside of 2, there's no one back there. Well, this was a year where the lake was really flooded compared to other years, so your normal path to get to the backside of 2
Was gone
was gone.
The bridge.
So you had to
No.
walk through the trees
behind
from the
2.
pond 3 side
Backside.
and come around.
Okay.
So we ended up going back there, and everyone was already throwing out by the time we was already dead last draw. Then this was a pretty big night too. There was, I think, close to 40, maybe 35, 40 guys fishing. And we get back there. So yeah, dead last draw is how I caught my BP right
Wow.
off the bat.
Dang.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
I've caught, over the years, I've caught, I mean, if I had to take a guess, I've probably caught about,
Rusty.
in the past
PBs.
5 years up here, I've probably caught about
Especially that one.
50 to 60 over 20-pound bucks.
Nice.
Maybe, you know, some years 10, maybe more than that, you know.
Some of the.
It's not, it's, it can be tough at times too, you know. There's baits that I've had so much faith in that I've come out there and you know, not caught them.
So, what's your rig style and all that stuff? I mean, your hook size and what kind of weight do you use? What's your leader?
Do you prefer short rigs or or about 3 inches or
Okay, so typically I just really use a standard 1 ounce flat sinker, you know, the kind of teardrop shape
Right.
that we're all familiar with.
No rows.
And I don't know why, but I used to use a lot of times. I always had a bait that these big gold swivels that are shiny gold,
Okay.
and I use like I said, on average, just maybe like a size 1 hook. But when I really am going straight for buffaloes, I do like to use a small hook. Like I used number 4, number 6, and I typically use a heavier weight compared to, I hear a lot of guys say a little weight, but it's because I fish with my lines tight. So sometimes when I'm using those small hooks, I'm probably using a 3 to 4 inch leader, maybe with a size 6, size 4 hook, and I'll use a 1.5, even sometimes 2 ounce weight.
Okay.
To really be able to tighten my line as much as I can. And I think what that does for you is it allows you to see the bite more clearly than our lakes here. The biggest difference is our lakes are deep.
Right.
Most of the Pay Lakes, North Carolina, they fish with the slack line like that because there's so many fish in the lake and it's not that deep. When you fish with a tight line running through the lake, you're going to get a lot of false bites. That's not a bite. That is something just bumping into your line.
So over here it's about 12 feet deep, and over there is like what, 5, 6, 7?
Some lakes, I mean, yeah, sometimes they're definitely not.
I know highway's pretty shallow.
Like Ace and Hubbard's and, you know, Indy Lake, some spots that your bait's going to sink when you cast it out there.
Yeah.
your partner Shane just said Bear talks about buffs so much. That's his secret, is simply talking about buffs 24/7. That's how he catches them.
We have said it with a lot of stuff like that, you know, that just speaking it into existence, you know, giving off the energy, giving the vibes, you know.
The vibe, the root.
Will eventually manifest itself. You know, it will. Because the night particularly that I caught my biggest buck, I made some bait that I posted in our little group chat, and I said, hey, I'm going tonight, I'm getting the draw, I'm going to my spot, boys. I said, big buck, I'm winning tonight. I said, the bait's winning. And they're laughing at me like, well, you better, dude.
Wasn't that an ace?
Well, we get out there, and the first thing that happened is last draw. But the first thing I said is, I'm going to get my draw, I'm going to get my spot. So I already missed that. I'm thinking, but it's over. Next thing you know, I hooked up on that big one.
Nice.
And they said, man, hey, you just said it
Nice.
3 hours ago.
Nice.
He was going to do it. So sometimes, I mean, I think that can help. But like I said, that's part of the patterns, you know.
Right.
When you can dial in on something that you're having a lot of luck with, whether it be the spot that you're in, the pickup that you're throwing, the bait that you're throwing, you know, that can work for you. Me, well, particularly, it's a bait. More than anything, it's a bait. I don't have a particular pickup that I've just killed them on more than anything, you know. I've caught them on quite a few. I have some that I prefer, but it's probably, I have like a top 5 or something like that, you know. I don't have a top 1.
Okay.
You know,
If you was to give,
for me, it's the bait. I have a bait that I have a lot of faith in. A buff will come in there and eat it if I start throwing this bait out there.
He's grabbing the chair.
if you had to give everybody that's watching, or going to be watching this bear, if you could give them a top 3 flavor that you would say that you would definitely use to target buff, it don't have to be like, you know, your go-to or whatever, but just, you know, 3 flavors that you prefer that you think that's going to help people, obviously catch buff besides them actually standing there and actually looking for what you would want them to, or what, you know, what they would stand there and see, you know, as they're biting.
Yeah, okay, so I would say, for the flavors, I would say probably R&W grapes. Some R&W carp juice grape flavoring. It can be really anything. You might find one that works better at your lake than others, you know, but I feel like as far as grape flavors go, R&W really, they've nailed it on a lot of them, you know. And then I think blueberry flavors, there's a couple from One On that are really some killers, you know, that are probably slept on a lot.
Right.
That can put you on buffalo big time. And also strawberry, you know. That's not a big talk about flavor, but I've had a lot of luck, you know, catching buffs on strawberry for sure.
Oh yeah. I hear that a lot too.
So like watching for the bites, I grew up doe ball fishing. So we caught plenty fish on the bite, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
And we honestly started out fishing without bait runners. We had poles with no stand,
Right.
you know, a little stick on the ground. We was young.
The lawn chairs.
I
Yeah, we
hate to
went to
say it,
lawn
we was
chairs.
kinda young ghetto kids, man. We didn't have a whole lot growing up.
Yeah.
Me and a lot of my friends that I knew personally, that I hung out with a lot, we really didn't come from big beginnings, you know what I mean? We
Right,
really didn't have much. So that's why we were really outdoorsy kids. Sports, you know, fishing was a lot of what we got into.
Don't forget the creek. You can't forget about the creek, man, because I lived half my life in the creek.
Telling you. Crawled as a crayfish, boy.
Dude, I'm
I
telling
got a
you,
turtle now.
for sure.
Boy, I caught about 24 chubs today, boy.
Ain't that it? Ain't that it? Corn. I have to catch them on corn.
Fishing with doe bait, so much fishing with doe bait that you get a feel for when a fish has your bait in his mouth, but he's not running your line.
Yeah.
You get a little feel for what to swing at and what not to, because you're gonna miss him. You know, we all swung on a fish and nothing been there.
Yeah.
But there is little can just picture it right there as he was saying. But he said, kind of sometimes when they're in your hole, your lines might be moving, but kind of slowly going up and down. So I've had this exact situation where literally all 3 rods the lines moving, but it's not enough to go after anything.
Right.
They're just moving, and you know fish are in there, and you might even see them rolling in your spot.
Wow.
You know that they're in there.
Wow.
And one of them will give a really fast or aggressive kind of drop down and pull back up, or it might do it 1, 2, 3 times. But it's when they drop down and they come back up, and then sometimes your line will just vibrate really hard while they're not running it. I don't know exactly what causes it, what exactly they're down there doing, but that hook is in that fish's mouth 9 times out of 10.
Wow.
When your lines are getting that kind of slow moving thing, like you said, when you got them buffs on top of you now beating, once you see that really aggressive bite on one of them, typically it's in his mouth.
Nice.
And what I've found here too, is you're not always going to catch them. A lot of guys, they give up too quick, I think. You come out with 3 pounds of bait and throw 1 pound of it and go, well, this shit don't work, man. This isn't it, and that's not always the case, because you might not pull up to the fish,
Right.
So sometimes it's just going to take just giving them a little bit more to eat, And I do feel like for sure, buffs will clean your spot out quicker than carp will. And I don't know why, but I think it's because they're better at dodging the pickup. I think that's the biggest thing about a buff is they are a little bit smarter and maybe even a little bit better sight to where they can pick around and get a lot of bait without getting a lot of hooks.
It's because of where their mouth is located too, compared to a common. I mean, and obviously, we've all caught some buff, but just from talking to like some of the guys, that we've been talking to over the last couple of weeks, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, they will tell you that they do not feed like a common. They will end up feeding like a common once they're put into a pay lake, and they will tend to mock a common or another buff in there because they see them doing it, so they feel like it's okay for them to do it. You know what I mean?
So there's a quick question for you, real quick, for you.
I think after this question, man, I'd like to hear a couple. I'd like to hear a couple of his raps, man.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You guys, if you guys can hear us, man, you guys can hear Bear. Make sure you hit that like button for us, so we know you guys can still hear him and everything loud and clear. Don't forget to share for us, please. Appreciate it.
Okay. Who do you look up as a mentor for advice on buff fishing or carp?
So, I guess, honestly, it's weird because I've never been the guy to really, that wanted to know what everybody else was using, all the time. I never was the curious one that message a lot of people, or wanting to know, hey, man, what was this? Where was you? But I've had guys in the beginning, that's helped me out slightly with just general rigs and stuff like that, but a lot of things is just from going out there and just really trying, so much stuff. So much stuff is unreal.
Right.
Over the years, Shane can tell you that I am crazy, man. I am people have called me like a mad scientist or something.
Nice.
Once you really have fished around me a lot and you've seen some of my ways and little things that I do, I fish a lot different than you would if you've never seen someone fish with things that I use,
I know you got unique style.
Crazy stuff that I do that I've had luck on. Just a wooden bead, okay? I would take these really big wooden beads.
Yeah.
And I would tie it up into a hair rig where the bead is basically taking the place of a woolly, but there's no flavor to it. It's just a bright, big wooden bead.
Mm.
And I'll tie it at a decent length, you know, longer than a normal rig.
Okay.
And I take a little split shot sinker, and I'll try to dial in if I can even get a run on it. It's not going to work every single time.
Right.
There's days where this is going to put you on fish. And buffs. I mean, I've caught several big buffs on it, you know. But just dialing in how high are they biting that pickup. Where there's been days where I've had the split shot on the eye of the hook. I mean, where it's literally on the bottom of the lake.
Okay.
And the fish will pick that bead up, you know. And there's days where I've had it where I was not catching any fish on this bead. I was catching fish on my pickups, but I wasn't catching anything on the bead. But I had it dropped all the way down. I had the split shot on the eye, you know, right under the eye of the hook.
Okay.
Holding that. And it's a balanced bait. Just like the last guy was talking about. It's a balanced bait. This split shot's just heavy enough to keep that bead from floating and standing up that whole leader. So as I'm fishing whatnot, rebaiting, my split shot had fell off. Okay? And I'm like, dang it, you know, and I went ahead and rebaited it anyways. I threw it out there and I go over to my tackle to get another one out so I can, next time I was gonna rebait, I was gonna put one back on it.
Right.
So this time now, this thing's floating up 6, 7, 8 inches, however long my leader was, this thing's floating. There's no split shot holding it down. And like I said, I was disappointed that my sinker fell off. I was wanting to put another one on there, and the next thing you know, I'm on.
What?
I'm on, and it's on that rod with the bead that's floating way up there this time. And next thing you know, it's just one after another, after another, after another.
Dang.
And it just that I was fishing with it on the bottom, and they weren't hitting it right there. They
So
were
basically, it was just a little
floating
tweak.
up above it.
It happens like that. A lot of times you gotta make little tweaks like that.
Just a small thing, you know.
Yup, you'd be
Make the
surprised.
biggest difference.
Yup.
Yeah, because
But
the
I've
fish will be
caught a
there
lot of
and they'll
bugs
be
on
hitting
that
you, you
rig.
don't even know it.
I've
Fishing
done.
it hard, you know.
I've
There
done.
was one year where I think I had it on a rod almost every time I fished. And there was a couple people that fished around me that seen it, you know, that I kind of had to explain, hey, this is what it is, you know.
Wow.
But they'd be netting a fish for me, like, dude, what in the world? Are you using boilies, dude? What the hell? It ain't no boilie, but it's just a little piece of painted wood, you know.
That's when you tell them.
But it'll catch fish.
That's up.
I got a question for you though. What's one of your dream lakes you would love to fish, or you love to fish consistently?
Man, any lake that I've never been to, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm the type, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I like fishing almost anywhere. But as far as a lake right now at the moment, that if I could just say, take me here right now, that's where I want to go.
Well,
I would say
pretty
probably
fine.
poppies, dude.
Poppies
It
too?
seems like this year they got some good bugs biting. You see a lot of good fish getting caught. And I've always wanted to go there just from seeing Mary Moore on Facebook.
Well, very
She
much.
caught a 50 plus pounder out of there some years back.
Wow.
You know what's crazy? I haven't. She used to be on my old Facebook page, but I don't have her on my new
Yeah,
Facebook
she's
page.
around.
I wonder if
Where's she from?
She's from North Carolina.
She's from NCU.
Okay.
She used to fish poppies too a whole lot.
Yeah, Maple Lane.
I'm sure she probably still does too, but
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I never personally talked to her. I'm friends on her on Facebook, but she's a very, very nice woman. From what
Yeah,
I've
she's a
seen.
fishing fool too.
Yeah, yeah.
She's out there faithfully. Or, you know, I used to see her on my Facebook a lot.
but that's probably, if I could just say right now, that's probably my top lake I want to go for fishing at.
Okay.
Cool.
But I actually did, I did fish in North Carolina at a small lake. It's had a bunch of different names recently, but at the time it was called Hog Hunter's Carp Pond.
Hog
At
run?
the time I went, and we
Hog
were just
Hunters.
killing some time waiting to fish at Creekside.
Okay.
So this place is like 5 to 8 minutes away from Creekside. It's literally right down the road. And we got there in the middle of night, and the tournament wasn't until the next day. So instead of going to a hotel or anything, we kind of just posted up at that lake and caught a little bit of sleep and went ahead and threw our rods out. And as we were fishing, I knew we were going to stop somewhere, but I didn't know where. So I brought some of my bean with me down there, just knowing we're going to stop somewhere that's got to have buffs in it, because Creekside doesn't have them.
Right.
So I fished probably for, I'm going to say, about 3 or 4 hours with that soybean at Hog Hunter's Carp Pond, and I think it was either the second or the third fish that I had hooked. It was a buff, and I ended up losing it.
Wow. Hey,
This fish has a lot of smaller fish in it, so you're catching them, and you can feel, you just got another beak on there. But then when you hook up with one, he's fighting you. You got at least a newer fish, a good looking one, or a buck. So as the night's going on, I'm catching just small ones after another one after another. I'm like, dude, what did I have on here earlier? I had a good one on here that was burning me up,
Right.
And I ended up losing. So as the night goes on, I hooked one and I said, dude, this is a fish. This ain't no 6 to 10 pounder what we call. This is a fish right here. And my buddy took a video.
It's a swamp donkey.
Yeah, it was probably about a 17, 18 pound buff.
Dang.
It was my first one from NC, but it was literally the first time I ever tried for a buff. It just had some little hole in the wall lake, and I ended up catching one in NC. And I see guys on there, a couple times. Man, I've fished for years. I've fished here and there, and I've never caught one, and it makes me feel like, man, there's just no way. But that's why they say there's a lot of luck into it, because there's bad luck too.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And I've witnessed it without a doubt. I've witnessed where, 2 guys are throwing the same thing basically in the same hole, and one guy catching all the fish.
Yeah. I seen that a lot.
That happens.
Sad part, that's me. That guy wasn't catching anything, but yeah.
Hey Bear, I don't mean to cut you off, man, but we're gonna take like a 10-second break real quick. DeJuan's he's got to get out of here.
We're getting a picture taken. Just 1 second.
I still want to get with you on the trip sometime.
Like we need to take this picture real quick. So if you guys can just bear with us for like a couple seconds, real quick. We'll get right back.
Right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back to you guys.
That's stand up and stuff too. Alright, hold on.
Oh, yeah, I got to get this
Champ is here. Yeah, yep.
We have plenty of time to talk and not rush nobody off the phone, you know what I mean? But obviously anybody else on the team, any of our teammates are welcome anytime, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Appreciate you, bro.
You already know, man.
Go home and play. Go home and put that with the rest of the trophies. You know what I mean?
Hey, everybody, Juan Thompson.
See you later,
Right,
man. Thanks for taking the picture.
there you go.
Right on, Bear.
Alright, appreciate you, bro.
All right.
Hey, we just got a picture. It says, Ricky Massey said, Mike Martini came up last night, fished here, caught a few, then went over to the public spot and caught over 30 fish this morning.
Nice.
No, he's always been a guy that he's been known to catch them and known to catch big fish.
Yeah, for
And as
sure.
far as I know, he still has the lake record at Hubbard's common carp.
What is the lake record at Hubs?
I want to say it's either 39-14 or 39-15,
Yeah.
but it's definitely Mike.
Alright, man, I think what we're gonna do, man, Bear, if you don't really mind, man, you know, for the, yeah, go on and bust one or two of them out for us, man. We'll just let you do your thing if you don't mind.
Well, I guess I could at least get hit y'all with the original one.
Yeah.
But I won't have the beat to the background or anything like that going. But
No, you're good. Everybody
I
knows.
can hear the words from I think what 2015.
And then if you can do the Buff Johnson one.
Do the Buff.
Yeah,
the country
yeah.
song.
Yeah, gotta do the Buff Country song, man. So you guys share this video, man, so everybody can get a taste of him. And before you get started, man, do you have any of these songs on YouTube or anything like that?
Nope. Let me think. I really don't think so. I think they're just on Facebook. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. But I could share them both to my page.
And make sure,
where you can see, can see them.
We'll put it on the description on our YouTube channel.
yeah, make sure you send them to James too, man. And he can put them in with the YouTube video and stuff.
With this video.
I don't mind that at all.
Yep. All right, go ahead, take the floor, man. You got it's all you.
So, it's a regional right here. All right. I'm telling you, dog, I don't blink. I just put hogs on the bank. Got caught jumping on my hook before that
You
ball
wanna
even
put
breaks.
that sideways?
Now everybody's asking me what's all in that bait, because only time your neck is wet, that's if it falls in the lake. But all I do is hit jugs. Now watch them casters lift up, and I guarantee that's a big buck. He just picked up that big pup. But now these haters is trying to say that it's just luck. But I caught so many that I just messed my wrist up. Soon as they see my setup, they like, damn, he's about it. Hey, look what's up in my bucket, bro, and you can't even doubt it. Just hit another jug, and then you hear Sandy announce it. Come back the next day, and you'll see her hand me 1,000. There's no way they pass me. My mat is staying nasty, because I'm always pulling them buffs, and yup, I'm slaying grassies. I'm always fishing, boy, that's that Bay Lake light. You going up against bear, you best to think twice. Bet your money against me, it won't be a safe night. Cause watch my poles take flight every time I make rice. My flavor's so strong, I put them in a whole ball. As soon as I try to walk away, that pole goes off. Everybody asks me, didn't you catch that buck in the kiddie pond? If you don't mind, what kind of bait did you get him on? Plus, that's a big fish, man. You should be very proud. That was strawberry butternut rice and mulberry chow.
Come on, man, give us some thumbs up if y'all out there listening to that, man.
That's the original right there.
Yeah, that's one of the original. You got a lot of views on that.
Sandy, little mention of her, like they used to work at Indy Lakes. A lot of that stuff that a lot of people know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this one year, I caught a 25-pound buffalo out of the little pond, right behind Indy Lakes Bait House.
Yeah.
And I literally caught that fish on strawberry butternut rice and mulberry chow.
Yeah.
What happened was I was throwing chow, catching them little fish in there, and I was running out. But we had also rice right there. And this is in my simp days. I do any and everything.
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing. But I just didn't want to run out of chow because it was working too good. So I started mixing the rice into the chow to spread it out.
Yeah, to make it last a little longer.
And they stopped biting. They stopped biting. And I walked over to my rod like, man, this sucks. And as I looked over, my line's just going sideways. It's just taking off. And as soon as I leaned back and I picked up on that fish, dude, he just blew up. I mean, he's all over the lake. And I'm like, literally like, oh my God. Because I had seen this fish roll. I used to fish the kiddie pond a little bit,
Right.
And I'd seen that fish roll in there a previous time. And when I had it on my hook, I was freaked out. I think it was the fourth or fifth buck that I'd ever caught at the time. And that's part of the story in that song.
Huh. Well, hey, hit us with the Buff. Hit us with the Buff Johnson song.
This is this was a classic hit on your charts, number one on the charts. I mean, Bear Disney shut down the country carp charts for the season.
Yeah, for sure. And this one, hey, you record? Wasn't you sitting in the truck at Hub's first qualifier of the year?
Yes, sir. It goes a little something like this. Well, I caught my first bug when I was 3, about 100,000 hogs and swamp donkeys. I fished the point in the rock and I cast it twice before. I threw a ball on the head of the buck next door. Man, he gave my ride a lift and I began to understand that there's something Buffy like about that big buck man. Almost Friday nights, I could be found reeling in a buck that's over 20 pounds. I I backed into my spot and caught a buffalo. They said, man, what kind of pickup did you throw? I never had to yank the line because they jump up out the stand because there's something Buffy like about that pickup, man. And you could set a buff on fire and throw it down a hill, but I still wouldn't trade it for a Carp DeVille. I got an 8-foot buggy that stays filled with bait, and if it weren't for buffs, I'd probably blank. I caught all my whiteys with the blackest hands, cause there's something Buffy like about that pickup, man. When I turned 16, I slayed a few hundred buffs. My first car was a 20 plus. I was cruising the lake and the first fish I seen was Buffy Joe Gentry, the homecoming queen. My flag went down, she jumped up on my stand and said, I never knew you'd do that pickup, man.
And that's William Bear, everybody. William Bear, everybody give him a round of applause, you know what I mean?
But I did want to tell everybody a closing statement, you know. Everything I said to you, man, I was just pulling your leg. Hey, I either told them on corner, great cow.
Yeah. He said, I used to call him on.
Everyone else, you know, everybody else in Indiana, you know, every fish that every one of us has caught has been corner, great chow. There ain't nothing else to it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
No. Seriously though, I would say of anything, just experiment. Don't just experiment with stuff that you already know about.
Right.
Don't just experiment with the carp flavor that someone's already come up with and used. Experiment with anything that's food that you think you could add to a bait that could make it work, because I've caught a lot of fish on stuff that ain't for carp fishing. I can just tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's for any type of food, you know, that's just.
As far as spices, like spices for food and all that too, you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the grocery stores that catches fish that it doesn't say carp fishing on the label, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Well, Bear, man, we appreciate you so much, man. We appreciate you doing the songs and everything, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate you sharing all the information. I mean, as you know, like we do with all our guests, you know, we appreciate you.
And if people that know me too, you know, I don't mind to help anyone catch a fish. I've really always been the type. There's even guys out there that knows most of my secrets. You know, there's been people over the years that I've talked with a ton, and we both shared things, and that's helped me too. You know, just me and a really good fisherman shared secrets for probably 2 or 3 years. You know, of just little things that we were doing different that you just wouldn't know unless we told you. You know what I mean?
So. Alright, well Bear, we appreciate you, man. It's getting time to the end, man. It's a little after 9.
Hey, I'm about to give me a second dinner, I think.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, we appreciate you, Bear. We appreciate everything, man, that you do too.
Yeah, thanks for having me on there too, you know.
No, it wouldn't have been right us talking about Buffalo, man. And,
definitely without you.
Not talking to yourself, because I
yeah.
mean, we got some good. We got a lot of good guys that fish around here. You know, we don't. We're not saying they ain't no good or you're the best or whatever. You know what I mean?
I could never even say that I'm even close to the best buff fishing in Indiana.
Just a good buff fisherman, period. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely known that I can catch them, if anything.
Nice. All right, well, thanks a lot, Bear.
Thanks, Bear. We appreciate you, man. And I'll see you on the banks, bro.
Yep. Hey, everybody, Bear.
Yep. Everybody knows Bear. We want to appreciate David for being on the show tonight.
Yep, David.
Also appreciate Bear. Who we got next?
Next guest is Dewan.
Is it Jawan?
Yeah. Next guest is Dewan. Got to get the anglers just here. He's going to be from Team Fish Fires.
And that's what, next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday.
And then, because you guys out there gave some feedback, obviously, they got us every week.
Every week now. Yeah.
But let's see, DeJuan's next week, and then who's after that? Is it Christine?
I think so.
Christine Simpson, right?
Yep.
Yep, she'll be here. You know, she's a good female woman angler.
Yeah, she
does a lot of wild water fishing. She does.
Also on the USA Carp Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So.
You know, as far as I know, we got her for that day.
Yeah.
It's scheduled. So.
Yeah, it's hopefully. So you don't have it?
No, it's for that at this moment. It's scheduled for that day.
Okay.
So.
But you know, you have to check work schedules.
Yeah, I
out
heard
too.
she says she travels a lot. So.
Yeah.
See what happens.
You guys know who our next guest will be. Always support your local bait shops.
Yeah.
Naptown Bait and Tackle. Before I go any further, I just definitely want to send TJ a special shout out.
TJ.
He's been going through a lot here lately. You know, he had a loss in the family, man. The whole carp community is behind you, man, and hope everything goes well.
Yep.
Definitely sending prayers out to you and the family, not just from me, myself, but from Team Fish Fighters in general. Sorry that you're going through what you're going through, bro.
Yeah.
But Adams Outdoors, you know, give a shout out to them. Indy Bait and Tackle, shout out to them.
Yep.
What do we always practice?
Good carp care.
Always practice good carp care.
Landing mat. What's next?
Yeah, for sure.
So.
For all your online needs,
Big Carp and Tackle.
they got all your wild water stuff, man.
David Moore and the gang, you know, get you what you need.
Get it right to your door.
Yeah. So.
Also, want to give a shout out to our new sponsor, Carp King Flavors.
Thanks, brother.
For sponsoring the team, you know. So, you know, with that being said, you know, I mean, like, we're taking on other sponsors too. We've came up with a format that we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
That you know that works for us, and hopefully, you know, for anybody else that wants to get in and sponsor the team, you know, hopefully it'll work for you.
Yeah.
Because the more sponsors that we get, it makes it easier on all the sponsors.
Basically, we're going to be making a 30 to 45 minute commercial, not second commercial, 30 to 40 second commercial, and then put it
for
on
your business.
For your business and
Your flavor company, your bait company, your car dealership. I don't care what it is. It don't have to be fishing. It don't have to be
this podcast
fishing.
and all the other team.
All our platforms. You know, we'll give you guys a shout out. Do a commercial for you guys for Facebook and stuff like that. So, but yeah, and always make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Hit that like button.
Yep, and hit that bell button down there too. That way every time we post something, you'll get that notification. And
Like, brother.
that's it, man. It's a wrap.
All right.
Appreciate you
Appreciate
guys
it, guys.
tuning in.
Thanks for
Like
watching.
this, share this, and we appreciate you guys, man. See you guys later.
Bye.